trying again, guys.
We'll chat then.
Oh, where's our intro, Ram? I'm not doing the whole thing unless you do the intro. There we go. There we go. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade. That is your boy Joey Options right there in the glasses, and I'm Sharif. And we're going to shout out a proper dang paradox. What's up to you, my man? Hope everything is well. Shout out to Drama Queen. Okay, Ram. We got Jameson. We got Bears versus Bulls and Rob EV. Shout out to Yannick and Mateus Lane, Scott H. Juan, Dang Padilla. Shout out to T Money and Mr. Longshorts. Yoel Reyna joining us as well as the Milky Way, as opposed to the Andromeda Galaxy, of course. All my space nerds know what I'm talking about. Space Sebastian. We got Black Sheep Trades. We got what? Imperial Music fan, I like that. H. Davis and Bilbo Bagholder. Marcos joining us as well, and Random Oddities. Shout out to JZ. Holla at you, boy. JJJ, what's going on? Rogelio Concepcion. We got Stock Census and Fiddlebeck. I like that name, Stock Census. Daniel Vargas, Joseph, and Day Trader Cut. Let's go, Yako. We got Bovin. We got Water Lover and Blue Arrow. Shout out to Jamo and Pranaya. We got Pran, we got David, Big Bob Dub. He's flexing up a storm, bro. El Sol, we got Blue Arrow and Go Whoos. We got Dad, shout out. It's not Friday yet, bro. Calm down, Dad. We got my man, Adam DeLuca. Sharif's mom's in the house. No. Mom, go home. Who else do we have? PC and NFJ. One more, Joseph. Dealer's choice. Oh, you're not loading up the chat. Come on, Joseph.
I'm in the chat, Bigums. Baby. I'm in the chat.
Dale Bigums, Tyrone Bigums.
Yeah,
come on now.
Tyrone.
You know Tyrone Bigums? There you go.
Who doesn't know Tyrone, man? Yeah.
Just joking. All right, guys. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic trading day. Joseph.
Clayton Bigsby is
Clayton Bigsby. Oh, you can't even get to that on YouTube. But yeah, that's a hell of a show. What we're talking about is Chappelle Show, guys. If you're a fan, you're a fan. If you don't, YouTube is there to search up these clips. Hilarious, back from like 20 years ago. But yeah, you were like what, 8 at the time? 10?
Oh man, I don't even know. I don't even know, my guy. But hey, I mean, a little bit of a choppy start this morning, Sharif, no doubt about it. Things are starting to pick up a little bit of steam here. We do have Bitcoin on the rise, which is absolutely fantastic. We're enjoying that one here, breaking out on some volume, which we like. So I was hoping that NVIDIA traded a little bit better this morning, but that hasn't been the case. But Tesla continuing with that strength, so that's something that we like to see, absolutely.
All right, we're going to weasel on over to the small caps because you have a banger of a lesson for us today, Ram. So we're just going to show them what we're looking at over here. There's a plethora of small cap gappers that I've got on my side chart. All are tradable right now. You'll notice that all of them are above the white line. The white line is the volume weighted average price on my black charts, and every single one I'm looking at right now above VWAP, so it's a matter about which one's setting up better and which one I decide to get into. CELH, not up that much, but great looking chart, up 5 and change. We got HIMX up about 23.5%. CADL doing its thing above 10 bucks, also up 31.25. You don't have many triple digit winners today, but a lot are setting up and a lot are at highs. ARQQ, quantum computing, remains hot right now. Triple D up to that 390 area, looking to weasel up above 4 bucks, and so is BTDR, breaking through that $24 area. It's well above the volume weighted average price. GOSS kind of looks like it's the ugly third cousin over here. It's just hanging out at a sub $1. It's trying to do its best to break above that buck. We'll keep an eye on it. INVZ as well, at the volume weighted average price, sub $1 name. So likely I won't have eyes on it, but Riot, Neil brought this to us earlier in the day. It's not a small cap gapper, obviously, but a great V-shaped recovery above VWAP. We'll keep an eye on HUT as well. And last but certainly not least, AMPG, a holdover from yesterday above 28%, and DXYZ every single day. We're talking about this name, up another 13.5 today, Joseph.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there, as always, Sharif. Guys, let's hop into this lesson. It is a little labor intensive. Not so much hands-on what we usually get into, but it's really important when you're constructing these types of trades to just have like a more thorough understanding of what's going on. So this is a little bit deeper in explanation on how to construct these credit spreads and how to write options and sell options via credit spreads, all right? So just keep that in mind, guys. A little labor intensive, a lot of information, so maybe we'll break it up into a couple parts more than what we have here. But we do have the part 2, but again, as I mentioned, there's a lot of information that we need to take in. So let's get started, all right? So this is the basic stuff, just what are credit spreads, benefits, and trade types. That's pretty much the first 2 parts that we're going to get into, and then the second half, which we can do on Friday, is the Greeks, technical analysis and stock selection. But let's just start with the first 2 sections first, all right, guys, because there is a lot of information. So credit spreads are a type of trading strategy that involves simultaneously buying and selling options contracts of the same class, either puts or calls, with different strike prices. Very simplistic. They are an intermediate options trade that utilize a fairly simple structure and have the potential to yield consistent returns, okay? They are the opposite of options debit spreads, and unlike directional trading, buying and selling stock and your account being debited, credit spreads are the inverse. Your account is credited and puts cash flow into your account. So this is how you can construct, that's it. This is how you can create some passive income with some cash flow being put into your account, and this is why I like them so much. So let's keep in mind option spreads, either debit or credit, or a fixed/capped profit trading strategy, okay? So just keep that in mind, guys. When trading equities or flat out buying options, puts, or calls, we need the asset to move in a specific direction. And in the case of simple options contracts, close significantly above or below your strike price in order for us to make a profit. The key thing, all right? So now this is the benefit of credit spreads. Credit spreads do not need one specific outcome in order for us to profit. There can be multiple scenarios that happen, and we can still produce a profitable trade. So let's compare some common scenarios, all right? So how, as I just mentioned, is that we don't necessarily need the stock to go up or down, or the underlying to go up or down. We can have a little bit of leeway from that sense, okay? So bullish case, we buy 100 shares of stock. In order for this trade to be profitable, we need that underlying asset to appreciate, all right? So if it goes down, we lose our risk on the trade. There's only one scenario that allows us to be profitable when we are buying stock. Same thing with a bearish case, all right? We sell 100 shares. We need that underlying asset to depreciate in order for us to be profitable. If it trades sideways, then hey, then you're going to sit in this trade for a little bit longer, get a little bit stressed out. And if it goes higher, you lose on that situation, okay, on that scenario. So trading credit spreads, we have multiple scenarios where the outcome can end with positive cash flow. The underlying asset can go up in a bearish trade, and we can collect the premium received from selling contracts. All right, keep that in mind. The underlying asset can go down with a bullish trade, and we can still collect the premium we received. So most importantly, the asset can move sideways, and we can still collect the full premium received for the contracts that we have traded. The only scenario where we don't collect the full premium is if the stock goes above our short call strike price in a bear call spread, or the stock goes below our short put strike price in a bull put spread. All right, so this is a really key point here. Credit spreads give you 3 times the numbers of ways to be profitable, opposed to just buying or selling stock or simple legged options, okay? So you have the multiple scenarios using credit spreads to become profitable, and that's what really drew me to this style of trading, is that I don't need to be as accurate on my entry, even though accuracy does matter. But again, over time, if you're doing weeklies, you don't need the underlying to appreciate or depreciate as if you were just to be buying single-legged options or just outright a common stock, okay? So you have 3 times the number of ways to be profitable, okay? So keep that in mind. There are multiple ways to create a credit-based trade using options. In this presentation, we will focus on 2 credit spreads trading strategies that form the basis of credit spread trading, and that is the out-the-money bull put spread, a bullish trade via puts, and an out-the-money bear call spread, a bearish trade via calls, okay? So keep that in mind. So these 2 types of credit spreads are built from a combination of 2 simultaneous options contracts, as previously stated, constructing a multi-leg trade. The initial leg of the trade will always consist of selling or writing an out-the-money call. So when I talk to you guys about credit spreads, just keep in mind why I always focus on the delta, because that can give you that percentage metric of probability of profit. Keep that in mind, okay? So this is one of the key metrics that we will touch on in the latter half of this presentation, okay? So simultaneously, we buy a call or put above or below the initial strike price, depending on which strategy we are employing. This forms the second leg of our trade, resulting in a net credit into our account. So I always emphasize on, I like to do $5 credit spreads. So what I do is I'll find my support and resistance zones. I'll then go to my delta strike that I like to have my probability, which is about a 10 delta strike, telling us that this contract has the probability of 90% of expiring worthless. And that is the aim of credit spread trading. You want those contracts to expire worthless, all right? So that's time in our favor that we want to use, okay? So keep that in mind. In these basic credit spread trades, the goal is for options to expire worthless. As I just stated, we do not want to sell naked puts or calls. Always keep that in mind. So that is why we always buy that second leg, the protective puts or calls, okay? So just keep that in mind. In order to protect our capital and not leave ourselves at risk of assignment, we must buy those protective calls and puts. So keep in mind that will, if that contract, that short contract does finish in the money, then your broker will automatically exercise that long option for you. But keep in mind, you do not want to hold on to these credit spreads so that the short contract finishes in the money. Okay, you want to get rid of that, rid of the contract before. You want to close that contract before it has the chance to finish in the money, or just set your stop loss so that you have a fixed set. So, also known as protective puts and calls, this second leg of our trade creates the spread for us. This is the style of trading we are focused on. So now I just want to emphasize here, guys, pulling up the options chain, this is not the delta that we're looking for, but I just want you to look at the max loss that is potentially there when you write an option, okay? So you're writing this 478 put on the Qs, you have a max loss of 47,000. That's quite hefty, okay? You don't want to be opening contracts when you have that type of risk on. I personally don't. But now let's see what happens when we buy those protective puts, okay? So we go from a loss of 47,000 to a max loss of $301. That's a significant decrease in the loss. So this is why you always want to buy those protective puts in credit spread trading. I get it if you're running the wheel, that's a different scenario. But in this scenario, we want to buy those protective puts, okay? Keep that in mind. So again, same with the calls. Infinite loss when you just short a call. We don't want this. We always want to buy those protective calls. And sure enough, look what happens when we do buy that protective call on a $5 spread. That reduces the loss to a max of $259. Yes, okay, that's fair. Your max return is cut in half, but I would rather have my max return cut in half and not have an infinite loss opposed to just having that naked call or put. Okay, guys, so keep that in mind. So key takeaways here about the credit spread. Multiple scenarios to create income. Spread-based trading is fixed profits. The difference between strikes is classified as the spread. Very simplistic stuff. Focus on selling that out the money leg initially. I always go for that delta strike. I select the negative one first, and then always buy protection, because you just seen if you sell naked options, the potential loss, and those can lead to account blowups, and that is not what we want to do there. But guys, that is it for now. We are going to send it off to Sharif.
Got a question for you, Joseph.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's about the lesson. So Paul Williams, asks as follows. Can Joseph explain, if you have a spread and the price closes between the long and the short parts of the spread at expiry, and you are assigned the item assigned in the money part? You're assigned the in the money part.
Yeah, so if your short option expires in the money, you will get assigned. But then the intention of the long option is so that your broker, once you get assigned, will automatically exercise that long put. So therefore, when you own those options, you therefore have the right to at said strike price. But when you have a short, you're obligated with the in the money now short option. You're obligated to that price at that strike price. But then that's why you have the protective call or put, is that you have the right to that option at said price. So that's why you want to always have those in place.
Sense.
Yeah, right. So that's that. And guys, if you have any more questions about this one, just put it in the chat. I'll do my best to answer as many of them as I can. But again, just totally avoid allowing that short option to expire in the money in credit spread trading. If you're running the options wheel, it's a different story. But in this case, we do not want that to expire in the money or get close to expiring in the money. That's why we set stop losses and why we buy protective puts and calls.
Tisha, I see you, Tisha. Tisha's always trading up a storm in these small cap gappers. I appreciate you, Tisha. I'm in a couple of positions right now. We're in CADL, very bull flag-ish, bull flag continuation, respect for the 10 exponential. Looks like there might be support here at 10 bucks. I'm seeing higher lows as well. I built my position. We're long 15s. I just wet my beak there at 33s, and I'm layering my orders, my profit takers above and near the high of the day. The high of the day currently on CADL is 1048. So we've been dancing here. There we go. Now we're taking out some levels. Let's see if we can take out more levels here. I'm waiting at 45 next. We got that 35 print. Now I'm long 13s because I had 3 entries on this planned, all planned DCAs. You'll see one over here that's still outstanding to defend the higher end of the trough on CADL at around 980. But guys, these ones are around for a good time, not a long time. Take your profits, set out beak wetters, right? Where's that thing at, bro? Man, I don't use it.
Oh, you don't have it?
I have it, but I don't use it enough, Joseph. You're quick with it. I'm slow with it. Size here at 1040, about a 200 lots. I'll submit to you that there's likely a big boy hidden order in and around there. There's just not enough size here to prevent more ascension. There we go. Now we're taking out levels. Let's see if we can cross at 45s. I'm waiting at, there it is. Now we're up nicely on this one. This was a bigger position for me too. And I don't usually take bigger positions on the show, but we're going to do it for, I'm just feeling in that mood today. So we're going to set up now more orders. First of all, let me see how many shares I have left. Yeah, we got some shareage up in this, you know what. So we're going to sit at 62s. Give no. We're going to sit at 69s, Joseph, because I'm not changing that little, let's call it a habit. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm in another one over here.
Slappers already, eh?
I wouldn't call them that, but I appreciate you, Joseph.
Slappers.
850 here. I'm in HIMX as well. Also another one that's very respectful of the 10 exponential, looking like it's encountering selling at the $0.50, which is fine. We're long at 30s, I believe, and we're having trouble with 50. I'm waiting at 55s for the next little beak wetter there. We'll see what comes. I've got a couple of more outs on this one. Let me tell you, though, I won't be DCAing into HIMX. I don't like the look of this one's jib as much as I do CADL. So anything below that 8.25 area trough that we've got over here that we developed between like in the last 10 minutes of the big boy show, I will be getting out if it does breach. Okay, here we go. CADL coming down aggressively here into 10 bucks. So let me watch what this one does. Okay, I've taken out quite a bit. We've printed on it. Now let's see if this one wants to weasel on down and print that planned DCA that I have in the low 90s. Reason I got it there is it's above the 10 exponential moving average. But I'll submit to you guys that's the 10 exponential is not the line in the sand here. I would have to say that it's that 975 area that to me looks like it's a better level of possible support, formerly resistance, 975 to 9 2/3. There's a topping tail candle at 10:20 a.m. that popped into there, rejected. We dropped big to 874. So it was a big move down on that level. So I'll believe that that will be the level I'll base my stop off. So there we go. We got filled at that 992. So now I'm going to set up a beak wetter over here in at around 15s, give or take. Let's see if we can get printed. Yeah, the spread on this one is not really to my liking. So it's a $10 name. It seems to have about 7-8 penny spread. Bang. There we go. Now we're taking it out. So we're going to layer more orders here. We just took out some off that dip trade. Appreciate you again, Joseph.
Yes, my guy.
We're going to sit over here now at 23. Shout out to Jordan. See what we can get. But anything below this area right here, I am gone. Okay, this is an area crest for me. And if that's the area that we rejected off, that's the area I expect us to bounce. We don't, I'm out. Simple. Okay, so we'll keep our eye on that. And we're going to keep an eye out on HIMX. It's coming back down. I anything below 8.25, gone Xeno on that one as well. There's others. Triple D is weaseling on into that $4 area. I don't have it up on a trading screen, but it's this one right here. Very directional, up into 394. We'll see what we get with this one. I'll be looking to take some, I'll be looking to get in at the volume weighted average price on Triple D, which currently is around that 972. So we're gonna set up another profit taker here on CADL. Bang, man, there we go, bro. Bang. There we go. So we're gonna keep an eye out on this one, Joseph.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. I'm in here on some NVDA. I'm not loving this stock too much, to be honest with you. So if we break this 136.80 level, I'm gonna get out of this position. I just don't think, I mentioned this multiple times before, I just don't think semis are extremely in play right now. There's other things that are hot, but I'm just looking to see if we can get that continuation from that strength yesterday in NVDA. We had a massive gap down on this, so I don't think it's going to, and it looks like we're going to kind of curl over. We're putting in that turtle shell pattern and slowly rolling over, looking to move back down to the downside. So, yeah, we'll see. 136.60 is going to be my out on this, and then after that, I'm not going to give it too many tries. I just don't think it's in play. But officially, Burden, do you guys go for a profit take order, or are you looking for 100% every time? That's a really good question. I mean, when you get a couple days into the credit spread, I think when you're trading credit spreads officially, is that those first 2 days is what really matters, because after that, time has really deteriorated those the values of those contracts. So you're usually good. But again, if you're in around like 90% of that profit, so say you collect $40 per contract, and then by day 2, you're at $30 per contract, there's no point in holding on to those contracts for another 3 days to collect $10. So you can just close those contracts, roll them over, and repeat. But again, yeah, I don't, it's either I have my stop loss or I look for them to expire worthless. I don't really have profit targets set because the objective is to allow those to expire worthless, collecting the full premium. But I just mentioned, if you're at day 2 of holding those contracts and you've collected 70 to 80% of that premium, there's no point in holding on for those other 3 days for another 20%. So you can just close those out by just monitoring what's going on. But yeah, that's it. That's my answer for you. Officially, NVDA isn't working, but what are you cooking up there, my guy?
I'm just answering Yannick Nesbitt in the chat. He wants to know what the theoretical auction price tap for short guys is on this one, Ram. This is the what's it called? The IPO that we're still waiting for to open. The theoretical auction right now, Yannick, is about $120. I know Neil was talking about this earlier. It's much higher. Neil, what was your print? 250 at 250 at
Titan?
It's yeah, I got the 120 right here. But Neil, when he was talking about it, it was at 250. It's currently at 120.
What time is it going to open?
We don't know.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah, that's one of
crazy.
those things that kind of we'll see. Here's the deal. Neil was bringing up a really good point about the paired value. So far, it was quite anemic. So it looks like there isn't that much participation. We're going to have to wait and see how this all happens or how this all unfolds. It's always very exciting when we have, what's it called? An IPO, at least, you know, one that is, look, they're only about selling 8 million shares. So it's kind of like the same look we've been seeing with these IPOs like ARM, for example. SoftBank only put 10% of the actual company's, the actual company up for trading or for the public markets, 10%. And that's kind of, I don't know what the percentage is here, but 8 million shares is light. So the whole point to say is usually they become quite volatile. Like, I mean, look at how ARM trades. When ARM moves up, it can move on big, more aggressively, I would submit to you, than some of its counterparts. So by virtue of the fact of having only a small percentage of the company up for trading or for the public markets, it becomes a bit more volatile. So keep your eye out on that, okay, guys? All right, well, let's see what else we've got over here. CADL could do an offering. It has an active S3. Shout out to Tisha. That's always something you need to be on the lookout for. if you're trading these small cap gappers, because once they pop up, they just love to do an offering. You have to look, as she mentioned, at the S3 to see, number one, have they filed? Do they have the right? Can they issue it? You got to be on alert for that, especially if you're trading big size. If you've got a lot invested in this, it behooves you to cross your T's and dot your I's. So keep that in mind. That's a great look there, Tisha. Now, I believe you got to go on the Nasdaq's website. I'm not 100% sure where to get S3s. I usually get them from my platform because I have a Fundamentals Explorer that I can go see all the documents for that specific company that would be otherwise on the exchange. But yeah, make sure you're doing your homework there. All right, guys. ARQQ was one of the ones that we were looking at earlier. And I'm still highly interested in this because it is now at VWAP. And VWAP and the price action resistance at around 27.5 are almost very close to the same level. So VWAP on my chart's around that $0.75. The price action resistance that we topped out at there at around 9.45 is around 27.25. So a bit of a 25 penny buffer between both. But as I'm watching how this is trading with VWAP, look at these bottoming tails. So there are people buying it. There's a buyer here, exuberant, buying it at around 28, high 27s. The only issue with ARQQ is I can just tell by how it's trading. The spread is trash. So you're going to have to be very careful getting in, getting out. That's the cost of doing business with this one. So let's load it up on a trading screen here so we can get a better look of what the actual spread is rather than trying to make educated guesses. Here it is. Okay, yeah, 17 pennies, quick as you like, on a $28 name. That doesn't please me one bit. That's a tough spread to deal with if you're trying to trade a small cap gapper. I would personally try to get it off the $0.50. I would have to risk 50 pennies given the spread, so I would have to give it to 27. And also you can kind of see that the price action resistance, or previously a resistance area, now I gauge as support, is very close to 27. So if you're going to get in, you got to give it room. But it's also giving you a good risk to reward ratio. So for example, if you were to get in at 27.5 and you theorize that we could reach the high of day again, well, that high of day is around 31. So that's plenty if you're risking 50 pennies there to justify a risk to reward ratio of more than 2 to 1 there. So keep your eye out on that one. ARQQ is in play, but again, very spready at the moment. What else we got over here? INVZ, you know, this is a sub $1 name. We're trying to work its way up to $1. It's not my favorite setup, trading these sub $1 names, but you know, you take what you can get. It's up 28.5%. Looks like it's awfully respectful of the 20 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, with aggressive dips in and around there. Like, look at this. Over here, 10 o'clock, we dip. Bounce right off the 20. You get another dip at around 11:15, right off the 20. In addition to that, you've got a compression pattern right now. This is a big boy bull flag. What do I mean by that? Well, we've got lower highs, but we also simultaneously have higher lows with this big move up. That's the pole of the flag, and that's the pennant. So look for a continuation. That continuation could come vis-a-vis a $1 break. We'll have to see. It's in play, it's doing volume, and I'm keeping an eye on it, Joseph.
Yeah, good stuff there as always. Officially, yeah, you can't really, you like him officially, eh?
I love him, bro.
Yeah, you love him.
He knows I like him.
Yeah, we like officially. I like officially too, because he's always asking good questions.
Yes, sir.
But just keep in mind, the credit spreads aren't really a 4 to 1. You can't look for those 4 to 1 risk to reward. I mean, you can, but then that means your stop is going to be significantly tighter, and options fluctuate a lot, okay? So especially when volatility is kind of up there. So it doesn't work like that. It'll always be skewed because you're using your delta metric as a guideline, right? So the options market is pricing in whether or not that options contract will expire in the money or out the money. So when you're using your delta and you have a probability of profit of higher 90%, the market's not going to give you that 2 to 1 risk to reward. So what your job is to always try to keep that at a 1 to 1, because you will win the majority of your trades. But again, they're not going to be like significant wins, right? So they're not going to be massive. So the goal is whatever you collect, would it be $50, $80, $100, a couple $100, you always want to keep that RVR to 1 to 1. So whatever you collect, equal your stop loss to that exact same amount, okay? So Nick W. Joe, would you mind comparing Microsoft to Google? I bought Microsoft calls for a breakout trade up quite a bit. Don't want to take profit until 470. Thoughts, call expire on the 20th. Okay, so yeah, let's pull up some. I'll pull up some Microsoft here for you. I like Microsoft. I mentioned that it was going to break out not too long ago. I mean, it's put in some pretty stellar days, right? So expect a pullback. And Sharif and I were talking about this off camera. It's like, yeah, we're trading really well. The overall market is, but unfortunately, we can't just go up all the time like this, especially parabolic. So expect for the market to breathe. I'm not saying that it's going to right now. With Microsoft, we are just about under 4% off the all-time highs. So take that into consideration. We broke some key resistance levels. The thing is, Nick, you don't have much time on those contracts. So don't allow, because I think you said, would you say you have the 470? But again, like you only have until the 20th of this month. Oh, Jan and calls expire 12/20 Jan and March. Okay, so yeah, you spread those out. But again, don't let time value chew up the ones that are closer dated. Maybe look to hold those ones that are further dated out a little bit longer. I do think we can continue, but just look at the price action. And you know what I mean? We have some history of this before, but expect a pullback, and the pullbacks become a little bit deeper as more extended we get. So just keep that in mind. You can manage the position, but I think you're sitting in a good position with the later dated ones. If they are only extrinsically value, so only holding time value, look to take a little bit off before that time value really starts to get chewed up. And same thing with Google. I really like Google as well too. It's my second largest holding. But this is one of the largest days it's ever put in, and I don't know in how long. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Feeling it. You must have been.
Yeah, yo, dude. Honestly, man. Yeah, man. Honestly, it was a pretty good day in all accounts yesterday. So we were happy about that. That's kind of what we're looking for, and I think a lot of it comes to positioning as well too, Sharif. So I've been in some of these for a while now, but again, we're in a good position and we're continuing to appreciate. So when you put in these monster days, it's good, and I'm not going to look to take any off the top because I am going to be bullish on equities for the foreseeable
man, you've got
futures.
Quantum computing now. Looks like they've taken the lead in that regard. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't understand it. But she's melody.
Yeah.
She's melody. Ram's asking for it today.
Yeah, but yeah, Nick W., I think you're sitting in a good spot there, my friend. Especially if you bought those out the money calls, but maybe offload a couple of those earlier dated ones because you do have only until next week, and then the time value is going to start to get chewed up on those. So yeah, good look on those. I really like that, Nick. I know you're always killing the options, so congratulations to you. I'm going to look to get into some 550 strike on Microsoft. Yeah, sorry, let me pull up Microsoft one more time here. 550. Oh wow, whoa. 550 or 450, but yeah, because those are really out the money. So yeah, but I mean, hey, if you're collecting some time value, then by all means, look to hold the longer dated ones, but get rid of some of those earlier dated ones so you don't get chewed up by.
We better answer this super chat, otherwise it may not end well for us. You want to know why? Why? Because it's coming from the Corleone family.
Oh yeah, we don't want to cause any troubles over there.
No, bro.
Sorry, man.
We're good. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Guys, thoughts on Tesla and Palantir. So I'm in Tesla right now. I'm not in TSLA. I'm in TSLL.
Hey, my guy.
Yeah, well, I'm taking after you, my guy. You're the one that brought it to my attention.
Remember I told you to use it the other day?
I was like, no.
no.
I was like all angry and like foaming at the mouth and everything. No, I'm kidding. Nothing like that happened. But here's what I'm looking at, Ram. Oh, it's the Chilean nightmare. It's Andre. Hey, Andre. Nah, here's a deal. We've been bouncing off VWAP. 3 bottoming tail candles right now off the volume weighted average price on TSLA. That's around 423.5. So we've got a 3 candle hold up. It's not a glowing endorsement that we've got bottoming tail candles because we're still putting in successively lower highs on each 5-minute candle. And the thing is about this, you're kind of caught within a tight range. VWAP 423.5. Yesterday's closing print on Tesla 420.475. So you're caught in a dollar range, but it's $1.50 range, excuse me. It's a $400 name. It's no longer that $165 stock. So we have to understand that the dollar now, it doesn't mean as much on Tesla as it did when it was 160, 200. You guys get it. So I'm looking for this one to hold up at the volume weighted average price and then give me some higher highs. We don't have the higher highs quite yet, and this is how it's setting up on TSLL. So I'm waiting here in the high 70s and I'm waiting in the high 80s for prints. Otherwise, I get stopped out through the break of that 31.40. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on. I'll let Joseph cover Palantir for you, but this one I'm looking at CADL. We just took out the $0.25. We're long 92s. Now we just printed 1040s. I'm waiting at the lofty area of 1069 because I want to take out the top end of this bull flag, okay? So to me, it looks like a bull flag. You may not see it that way. I do. It's a bull flag continuation, hence why I'm getting in and building my position towards the bottom end of the range. I don't have that many outs left, so if I get stopped out through the break of 75, we'll still stay profitable on it. The other one I'm looking at, HIMX, just took out the top. Again, took out 55s. Now I'm waiting. You guys know where I'm waiting. I'm waiting at 69s. Okay, and I'm gonna wait there. If I get printed, fantastic. If I don't, I'll get stopped out. I won't move my order. So that's what we're waiting for here. It's a symphony of higher lows and higher highs. It's been a good look. This is the 1 minute on HIMX. You can kind of see every successive trough higher than its predecessor. So trying to put the odds in my favor, that's what we do. Nothing guaranteed up in this, you know what, all right? So keeping my eye as well simultaneously on ARQQ. It's at VWAP. It's breaching it technically, but it's not breaching it by that much. Again, I'm going to be hesitant to trade this only because of the spread. That's my concern with ARQQ. So we'll have to pack our patience and see whether we get the print or not. Back to TSLL. We're still zigging. We're still zagging at around that $0.50 area at 31.5. It's technically the volume weighted average price on TSLA. I'm waiting for a print in the high 30s, come what may. You want to have a look at Palantir for our man, the Corleone family?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
absolutely.
It could be bad.
Yeah, it could be bad. We don't want to go down that road at all. So they'll find where we're at real quick. So we don't want we don't want to cause any problems on that front. Yeah, I mean with Palantir, it's been on this epic run. I expect this type of pullback. You can't go parabolic like this all the time. So as you can see, this can be expressed as some exhaustion volume here with that massive engulfing session. I do think that Palantir continues to the northeast eventually, but again, this underlying needs to breathe a little bit. Expect some pullback, expect some choppiness up here before you take that additional leg higher. But again, for the longer term, I'm not saying immediately, but within probably by next year, we do see a one in front of this underlying stock here. But again, right now, we went on this monstrous run up over 100% since early November. So expect it to breathe, expect it to chop around a little bit before we make any new highs. Expect for a pullback. I don't know where you're sitting. If you want to sell some cash secured, collect some premiums, you could sell the 60s, and if you get filled around there, I think you're sitting in a pretty good spot. Again, 65s even as well too. But again, when stocks are this extended, expect them to pull back a little bit, and I think that's going to be the case with Tesla, even though we are slowly starting to grind higher. But again, we can only gap up so many times and continue on this like 45-degree angle for so long before the stock decides it wants to pull back. But yeah, I think the boys think we see a 5 in front of this by next year, and I agree with them on that front. So yeah, again, let it breathe, let it pull back, let it chop around a little bit, and then be precise with your entry when it does decide that it wants to break out some more. All right, guys. But yeah, the poll's looking good, guys. We got 800 votes so far. Continue to vote on what you want to look at. What did you vote for?
I voted for Softy because it got a nice little bump there, up 1%. It's weaseling on down to VWAP too, so I could absolutely be persuaded to get into Softy. What do we got in the poll? I totally forgot what I put on.
DX.
Adobe. We got Microsoft. We got HUT and DXYZ. DXYZ doing better, Andre, than I thought it would be over here. 17.
I voted for DXY.
You did, eh? Yeah, it makes sense because we all love SpaceX. Yeah. Adobe getting some love as well. The earnings, I don't want to call it a loser because I don't think it was a bad report. The guide was light. But as Sean brought to my attention in the morning, he's like, sometimes when it's a light guide, it's kind of like that old adage, under promise and overperform. What is the old adage? Like you under promise, but you outperform.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think that's what you're getting at. Yeah.
So that's kind of the look. Maybe that's what the modus operandi is. In any event, let's talk about BBAI because I was asked about it, and then I'm going to cover Go EV for black sheep trades. I told you where I want to get in there, but we're going to look at BBAI. I believe our man Gomez in the morning was looking at. was looking at BBAI. He was looking at a whole bunch of AI names. This one's red on the day. Looks like we closed in and around that $3 area, guys. Look, you know, this is not my type of trade because it's trading below VWAP. It's in my opinion, or under my system, this is a short. I'm not taking it long here. It seems to have resistance at the 50 exponential at that 285. If it does take out that 285 and wants to go green, it's a different story here on BBAI. But to me, on the day, not really to my liking. Let's look at Go EV. This is a sub $1 name. I was telling Black Sheep Trades, I like it at 21. In fact, he's the one that was telling me, Weasel, what do you think about weaseling in at 21? And I said it's a good look because at the time when he was asking me, it was right here. It was at the volume weighted average price. So I said that's a fantastic look. It rocketed up off that level. It went up 38% from when you asked me to that top at 28 pennies. Sure, you know, it's 7 pennies, but everything's relative. I like it again, possibly at 24 pennies, because look at that area top over here at this candle at 1040. We kind of weaseled on up, came back, held VWAP. So maybe look for the 10 exponential retracement or that 24 penny area. Shout out to Black Sheep Trades. BBAI, it's up and to the right. Not parabolic or anything, but it's a good look. We're still waiting on any print here on TSLL. It's coming right back into our entry, but that was the whole idea. I'm waiting at VWAP, and I'm not really going to take it out unless I get stopped out or it dips in. All right, CADL, what a trade. We took out 69s just like that. We are long on where we're done. That's the last. Done. That's the
That was the all right. Well, that's bang. Well, you want that? You got it right at the nick of time there.
I'm not going to complain about that.
At the nick of time, baby.
So what we're going to do is we're going to clean up our orders so that we don't get printed on the way down. So really happy with how I executed, guys, on CADL over here. Guys, chart, yeah. 1069. Technically, we took it out. It's still in play. To be fair to CADL, it's above VWAP. It's above the 20 exponential. And, you know, it's fighting with 10 right now. So this could be another entry right now on CADL. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take my profits and run. But this is an interesting move right now on CADL. Breaking through the top at around 10.5. It looked like the top was. You get, and this is kind of totally typical for these small cap gappers. You get a breach and then a big huadunk rejects all the way back down. But you got to love that it holds up at that $10 area. CADL, we're going to keep an eye on that. HIMX coming back down, so it doesn't look like it crossed that 60 penny area on HIMX. I'm waiting at 69s, back down to 42s. Packing my patience. We're going to keep an eye out on that one, and we're going to keep an eye out on TSLL as well, Joseph. All right, here is ARQQ. So that 75 penny area, there was a buyer of note that won't be convinced otherwise. Why? Look how many times we weasel on down and we hold up at 75. Now, mind you, I was not watching the book while this was trading at 75s, bro, 50s, excuse me, 2750s. And now it's almost at 2820. So this is holding up. Again, the only beef I have with ARQQ is the ridiculous spread that it has on 17 pennies right now, 2 on the bid, 19s on the ask. I don't like that. Decisions, Joseph. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my rules. I don't like it. I'm just gonna let it cook, do whatever it wants to do there. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm in here on some Riot, Sharif. We're looking to, well, my good buddy Greg V pointed it out, and I'm like, yeah, good point on the opening drive there, Greg. We're up about 10%, over 10%, just under 11 on Riot as Bitcoin continues to move a little bit higher here. So let's see if we can continue on this trend. We're going to go for the high day. That 5-minute orb is really strong, but unfortunately there was no continuation on that. It pulled back really deep and then tested the bottom of that 5-minute opening range, which is totally fine, but has since recovered. I don't know if it sticks out like a sore thumb, but to me it absolutely does, and I'm going to point it out. But I would like to see you guys in the chat. Like, what am I talking about when I say something is sticking out like a sore thumb? And I talk about this day in and day out. So if you guys want to point out what I'm talking about, that would be absolutely fantastic. But I'll mention it right now. And it's this, all right? It's this candle print right here. It's an absolute beautiful reversal signal. We like it. We have that heightened volume with that closed hammer candle. This is the stuff that I look for when I am looking to trade reversals. this can give me some more conviction within the setup, especially when you have a strong opening drive like that and then you sell off on lower volume. I don't say expected, but just look for those eventual turnaround signals, okay? You may have been like, oh, that's a deep pullback and got faked out by that one. Once it breaks the low, the thesis is invalid. That's totally fine. Sit on your hands, wait a little bit, because the chances of another one of those prints showing up relatively soon is there, okay? So just keep that in mind. Give yourself enough risk and time to allow yourself to get into those other entries, and those signals will turn up if the stock is going to turn around, okay? So you can look on it from multiple time frames, 1 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute, etc., and just get comfortable with those reversal signals. I only use the 5 and the 1. I'll use the 3 minute kind of later in the day sometimes, but that's something that I really focus on. So I had conviction within this trade. We moved, we pulled back, started to trade higher again, and then we pulled back into the volume weighted average price, and now continuing that trend, looking to break these key pivot levels, which I really like. So if we can break that, then I think we can go and test the high day on Riot. Unfortunately, I don't have too much size on this one, but that's okay. Let's see if we can continue to appreciate on Riot. But I just want to point something out on the encrypted one, Bitcoin itself, the underlying asset. I'm going to be frank, I don't know how much I like this pattern right here. I mean, it's really nice that we're sitting on top of kind of that resistance zone that we pointed out the other day. But I want to see a little bit more momentum and volume in this breakout, which hasn't been the case right now. I'm not saying that it can't step in, right? But again, at this point on that breakout, I would like to see kind of those after hours when those secondary markets are starting to kick in, like the Euro and Asia, that we push really strong and then continue that northeast trajectory. But as of right now, it's kind of been a little bit of a choppy mess on Bitcoin, but we are sitting on top of a key range, which I do think is a positive, but I would like to see a little bit more momentum on that breakout there. Sharif, what are you cooking up?
We got stopped at a Tesla, Joseph. It broke VWAP as the future took a bit of a downturn there. So we're breaching right now key areas on the NQ December contract. That's that 700-point area, 21,700. Also of importance, the volume weighted average price, which was a little bit low, that 700-point area, 21,693, very similar. And we've talked about this before on the show, where you have key areas of support and resistance that are awfully close to one another. Which one do you use, or do you account, so say you're long, you just put your stop below the lower of the two. If you're short, you put your stop above the higher of the two. That would be my submission to you, given that they're awfully close. But this is sending the futures now in negative territory. On the day, we're breaching 21,675, so we're coming into that 75-point area. It looks as if we did have price action support in and around that 50-point area. What's it called? 8:30 a.m. candle found support there after we got PPI. The PPI print at 8:30. We also, the closing prints after the opening range also held up at about 21,650, despite the fact that the wicks go all the way to the quarter point area. Look where the closing prints are on all three of these candles, all in and around that 50-point area. So we could realistically find support at 21,650. We're at 75. We're fighting with 75 right now. Let's see what we get with the future, because it seems to be, obviously leading the way to the downside for some of these Mag 7. Case in point, you have the breakdown of Tesla. You're also getting a lot of blood today on NVIDIA, 2.25. You can rest assured NVIDIA will be on the 1 p.m. poll, because now it has got a decent down day that we can speak about here, 2.25%. As we come into that 136 area, Joseph. We should point out, though, that the local area low for NVDA takes us back, I believe, on the 10th, which was Tuesday. We weaseled all the way down into that 134 area. So we do, number one, we have a couple of things here. What you can have a price target, a profit target, I should say, for the short, in and around 134 if you're really feeling lucky. You also have these areas over here at around 135. That is yesterday's low. So you got 134 for Tuesday's low, 135 for yesterday's low. Currently, you could say technically it's below 136 right now for today's low. But again, all the closing prints on NVIDIA north of 136. So
there's a good question in the chat
for you.
So it's by KGP. Sharif,
Yes,
AKA with price action going so quickly. Did you?
Yeah,
okay, sorry. Sorry. I didn't really pay attention. Yeah, it is a really good question.
Traders are going to be worried about that. So I said to KGP, if you're worried about the price action moving too aggressively, identify an area that you like for a long or short, throw out a resting order. Here's what I mean. Let's show them, Andre. So for example, my platform allows me to do this. Some others don't. That's fine. You can do it a different way. So let's just say I want to buy, NVIDIA at 136. So I go ahead and I weasel on over and I put my buy order right there at 136. So you see that light blue line right there? That's a buy order, and I can drag that buy order. Oh, I don't like 136 anymore. I want 136 and a quarter. Put it there. The point is to find that key area of support or resistance that you want to get into. For that name at that area, in case it's just moving way too quickly. Old man hands can't hang. I always say that about myself. So get around that by throwing out resting orders. That works both ways, though, my man, KGP. You can put your profit takers out in the same way. So, for example, if you were to get long 136 on NVIDIA and it moves up to 137, you don't necessarily have to be staring at the screen the entire time. Put out those resting profit takers at the level that you've identified, and then come what may. Same thing goes for your stop loss as well to prevent excessive losses. Throw out your stop there, a hard stop. It's a resting stop. You don't need to be there for it to trigger. The computer will do that, obviously, for you. Now, having said that, is that always the safe thing to do? Not always. Because as you've seen on the show, sometimes your stops get blown through because there's a lack of liquidity. And so the price that you've told the computer, hey, get out here, well, there's no shares, there's no liquidity in that area. So it ends up getting blown through, and then you're actually still in the position despite the fact that you put a stop. So you need to be careful with that. And you need to know your system and your style, your platform. You need to know all the nuances about that before you really feel comfortable throwing out orders and not being at your computer, okay? But hey, a lot of people do it. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's talk about the dead one, Apple, because it's very much, I don't want to say it's an inside day, because we did technically make a lower low than we did yesterday, but it kind of feels like an inside day because the low is just so superficially, it's superficially lower than yesterday's low. So 246 yesterday, technically the low. Today we got to 245.68. We're right back up near the high of the day on AAPL. It's been putting in higher highs, higher lows, but there is a seller of note, it seems like here, at least for the moment, at 248.60. So the high 248s, maybe 248.5. It looks like the closing prints. So we'll keep an eye on Apple to see if it can continue ascending. But yeah, good day yesterday, breaching that all-time high. And we'll definitely keep an eye on it because it's in play, Joseph.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone at RamG in the chat asked me to do some Broadcom technicals for them. They are reporting after the bell, guys, so keep that in mind. We do have these, look, I didn't even mark this. This must have been marked from before. So we have those really key resistant levels sitting around $186 there. It is a red day as is the overall market. So that's nothing to be overly alarmed about. But again, we do have that report. I don't know if you want to be holding any equity going into this report, just in case the street doesn't perceive it very well. But as of right now, I would wait. If this report is taken well by the street, and we break those key resistance levels around 186, then look for some continuation. But again, the boys were talking about not Broadcom. Well, what just reported there? Adobe, right? They had a fantastic earnings, but then the street didn't like the guide. So if the guidance is lowered, then just keep that in mind. That can give some negative sentiment to that underlying asset. So just keep in mind, wait, be patient. If you're looking to play the straddle, that's totally fine. I'll pull up the options chain. Actually, I'll do it right now, now that we're talking about it, because I like doing this for options trade. So let's take a look at some of the open interest and where we got high levels of it, folks, for the session. So yeah, the highest level of open OI seems to be around that 190 mark. Okay, so that's reasonable. And then let's see to the put side. That's on the call side, folks. So let's take a look at the put side. So 167, there's some open interest along those lines too. So just keep those two price targets in mind. We do have open contracts around those levels, which is good to see. But again, there's a little bit more to the call side, which is a positive note. 185, 190 is those options the most open interest on the call side. So yeah, again, just wait unless you're playing a straddle or you're really in the money. I've been holding this for a long time. Don't try to anticipate anything. If you have an earning style of play, then yeah, sure enough, go ahead and execute, but make sure all those criteria are met. But again, it's just basic technicals. That's all I can give you right now as we are chopping around in this range. Is it going to break out on earnings to the northeast? Possibly, but is it going to go and test these other potential support levels? There's also a chance of that. So just be prepared. Let that print settle. Let's see how the street takes it, and then you can readjust and reassess from that standpoint. Okay, guys? We got a super chat here. $5 one. This one's for you, Sharif. Google making stair-step pattern. You like and sound making bull flag. Nick W. Thanks for the super chat, my guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Nick. I see you, Yoel. I'm going to answer your question in a second, Yoel. I appreciate you. Let's talk first about goggles. Here it is. Goggles, very inside day, guys. Well, very subdued day. And it is an inside day, actually, too. Okay. Very subdued day, but that's okay because this thing's rocketing up the last couple of days on quantum computing headlines. So it's kind of caught in a bit of a range. If I really whip into my head, I feel like we're putting in higher lows with a flat top through 195. That's just my perception that there is resistance at 195, despite the fact that we closed out at 195.40. Today, 195 seems to be a bit of an issue. Multiple topping tail candles through that level. I'd say, with the higher lows and that flat top, this may end up going green. We're only down 1/3% right now. If you're looking at building your position on Google and you're bullish on it like I am on the day, I would say get in on a trough area, like you had this area trough, this area trough, this area trough before you make new highs. So put a dip trade, for example, maybe at VWAP right now, which is 194.25. That would be my suggestion to you for goggles. But you also asked about SOUN. So let's have a look at SOUN here. I don't have it up on the what's it called? The side charts, but we're going to throw it up for you. SOUN having itself, I don't know, what is it doing today? Let's take off the CLH, and we're going to put SOUN over here. SOUN, what do we got? We're up 2% on the day, though. Yeah, look, we're holding VWAP on SoundHound, and I also like the fact that there's price action support. We're the same area where VWAP is, or around that 13 2/3, 1366. Generally, that area, look, you 4-candle hold up at VWAP, which also shadows price action support. So I would, if you're going to get long, I would put my stop through the break of yesterday's close, which is 1355. So it's a good move up, but you're definitely getting some selling in that high 13 or 13 mid 80s, high 1380s. So not a bad look there. I'm going to keep it up on the side chart. It's one that we always watch anyway. Shout out to Yoel Reyna, $5 super chat. Super chat's coming in fast and furious. You saved me, I'm assuming, from Adobe. Also, I thought we were going to show off videos of Joe knocking out people in the ring. My man, you missed it. We did show it. The dude got clapped. And we could show it again. I'm sure Joe would be more than happy to enjoy that. Yeah, we'll show it a little bit later.
Who said that?
Yoel Reyna.
Oh, I thought you seen it. Yoel, you weren't here.
So.
Yeah. I mean, and that was a while ago. So surprised that you remember that. Yeah, it was a hot minute ago. We're on to the hockey highlights now, so maybe we'll get some of those rolling. But yeah, we can play that knockout any day of the week. I can watch that for hours probably.
Send it to Ram.
Okay, we can watch that for hours.
Andre's on the ones and twos right now, but yeah, I'm going to send it to him soon. All right, guys, I got into a new position here, Go EV. Shout out to Black Sheep Trades. I'm already wetting my beak there, but I've got a planned dollar cost average. This thing is up 110%. Okay, it's a 25 penny name, 25 penny name. Let's talk about this because there's two. There's EV Go and there's Go EV. They're not the same thing. One's an EV company. They make EVs. One's an EV charging company. This is Canoe.com. So Go EV's .com. Canoe Incorporated. It's a mobility technology company with a proprietary modular electric vehicle EV platform and connected services initially focused on commercial fleet, government and military customers. Doesn't matter, they make EV platforms. So why are they up on the day? That's a great question. I don't know, because I don't see anything in my blotter to account for that. And I'm looking at yesterday's entries as well. Nothing from yesterday. I'm looking at the 10th. Nothing from the 10th. How about the 9th? Well, they got this from the NASDAQ on the 9th. Canoe Incorporated received notice from NASDAQ that they're not in compliance with the minimum bid requirement. Well, why is that? Because they're trading sub $1. And the NASDAQ gets very upset when any of their stocks trade sub $1. So in other words, they got to weasel on up above $1. Well, how do they do that? Well, they can buy back shares, you can have insider buying, or they can split. They can reverse split. So for example, if you hold, say 100 shares of Go EV at 25 pennies, they'll split it. They'll do a 10-to-1, and then they'll bring your shares down to 10 shares, but you're also trading at $1.25 rather than 25 pennies. So there's no effect to you in that sense. In any event, it seems to me like maybe they're working their stock a little bit higher to gain compliance, because I don't personally see anything here to account for they're up 107%. Doesn't matter though, we're gonna trade the technicals on this. So if it breaks down below 24 pennies, I'm out. Why is that though? Because there's support here at 24.5 pennies. That's an area trough, but it also shadows this area, which is an area crest, which is at 24 pennies. So we know from technical analysis lessons that support becomes resistance and resistance becomes support. So that's my level for an out. I'm keeping with that idea. I've put a planned dollar cost average at 25.5 pennies to get a bit more size, because I'm sized lightly here. I'm only in it for you, Black Sheep Trades. You made me feel bad for not being involved in this one. And I see it's up 110%. I feel really bad about myself. No, I'm kidding, of course. So we're in this. We're in with small size. So we're going to look to plan our DCA, plain dollar cost average, in the 25.5. Joseph, we wet our beak already at 28s, and now we're sitting at 30s. Come what may, sir.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. The people want to see the video again, so
it's
all right, it's all right. But I think
people ask and they get,
and they receive. But hold on, should we let the anticipation build up, because it is 12 o'clock, and we have Neil with the lesson of the day.
Get it, sir.
Thank you very much. Your lesson of the day is going to be brought to you by WorkSport, ticker WKSP, introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ. They're a US-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growth revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off the grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, WorkSport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP. So discover the future of clean energy with WorkSport. Oh, I see that cold winter. And apparently, I don't love the cold winter, but we want to shout out to WorkSport. And look, this lesson is when is a strong setup weak? When is an uptrend a fade? When is what you're looking at deceiving your eyes, because even in a strong stock, there is a seller and a wall of sellers, and how do you identify them? Now, NVIDIA is catching a bid right now, but I want to talk NVIDIA and I want to talk Google. Because obviously I didn't get back into NVIDIA. It's funny things happen when we finish the morning show. Sometimes, I get it, we're sitting down for a while, you get up, you go to the bathroom, move on to something else, you got emails to answer. I don't have a good excuse for getting out of NVIDIA, but the reason why we were short at this level is you just want to look at sometimes what happens at a particular price, right? So NVIDIA double bottomed 3 days ago, right about 137.5. Then you had the big down day where I was in this mean reversion where it tried to bounce here at 137.5, rejected that level. Then yesterday at the open, what happens? Twice it rejects that level for a sell. Eventually, the breakout past this level is where you get the continuation. You gap under that at the open today, and that same level where it's been running out of steam and struggling for a couple of days in a row ends up being the short zone. And what you end up happening here is it's easier to be short in here in a reload. But you get a double bottom. And when you get a double bottom, a lot of people are looking for that blowout long. But what ends up happening is you get a double bottom into the same chop resistance zone. So even though it's making higher lows going into it, the sellers are still here at this particular price. And suddenly you've got a level which turns into something I call like an over-under. Well, if it ain't over it, then you better be long the bottom, because longs in here have not been good. They just haven't. So a lot of times if you hear like an over-under or this stock is above VWAP, but I still would want to short it, that's because it's underneath the sell zone. And you've been observing that price action. At the end of the day, VWAP's a line on a chart and higher lows and all that kind of good stuff. It's fun, but if you run into a place where there are large wasps of sellers or buyers, if you're going the other direction, it just isn't going to matter. And when you're in one of those zones, you want to open your mind up to the fact that the risk to reward trade at those prices was to go short. And there's nothing you can do about it. The more extreme example of that, which I'm saving for now, is Alphabet. This is the one where you're still even seeing it happen now. Don't get me wrong. I still have eyeballs on Alphabet for a break above this zone. But you cannot ignore the fact that a stock breaking a 52-week high yesterday runs right into a 195 1/3, closes right at that price, loses that price when we have PPI and jobs data this morning, and then look at the selling underneath that fresh high. You get an all-time high close, and then look at the sellers right underneath it. This is the more egregious example of an over-under. My unwillingness to short this level when I kept seeing it over and over again is a huge fail. I was only ever willing to let's go long if it breaks away from it. I'm still waiting to go long if it breaks away from it. But you can see, sell, sell. Look at the wicks and confirmations. If you're a day trader, you can be selling just underneath the 95 here with a tight stop. You're getting into 94, you're getting into 93. Even when it's winning small, you're getting in the 70s, you're getting out at the evens. In here, you're getting in at the 80s and 90s. You're getting out at VWAP, 50 to 60 cents, maybe even 70 cents of a winning trade. It is obvious at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times you could have had the short underneath the previous close. It doesn't matter. Everything else about this is a bullish chart. The daily chart's a bullish chart. You pull this out, you whip this out and zoom it out further. You're like, my goodness, look at how good of an upward trend that is. I get it. But unless you're long here off of this low or you're breaking away, the money made as a day trader was just scalping the short side of that trade because there's a supply zone at that price. Somebody is selling in front of the newly made 52-week high on Alphabet. And I'm sitting here wanting it not to be true because I think we see 200 if we can break this out. But if it never breaks out, then you've missed a golden opportunity to simply observe that there is a seller here. And joining a big seller or joining a big buyer is the better way to trade if you can do it. So your lesson of the day is, regardless of what you want to happen, if you see an obvious buy or sell zone a couple of days in a row, you've got to listen to it because it'll give you that low-hanging fruit trade. Instead of waiting for that seller to lift for a long trade, you can just be taking advantage of it when you notice it. Of course, that's going to be limited to day trading, where you're taking multiple trades and multiple ins and outs scalp trading. But if that's your cup of tea, you couldn't do worse. You couldn't do that much better than that Google seller, than that seller that was clean the entire way on NVIDIA, 137, 137 to 137.5. Sometimes you can want a breakout to happen, but the market doesn't care what you want. That's the simple way to put it. If a seller's chewing it up, then you got to join it, or you can be patient, wait all day for the long. That's great, but you could have made some money short along the way. So don't ignore those big buyers and sellers when they present themselves, and when they do it for multiple days, all the more reason you should just join. It's so much easier to join the big boys than it is to wait for them to break or try to fight them. There's your lesson.
Well said, Neil. Thank you very much. Great lesson of the day. Neil Roberts every day around that noon hour, dropping hot knowledge.
As always, guys. But hey, the trade of the day poll is up. Ooh, so get those votes. Did you vote? Did you?
I clicked long. I know, I'm trying to be contrarian.
Yeah. I'm going long too on that one, guys. So get your votes in there and
Okay. All right, Ram, are we able to zoom in a little bit on that, or what's the situation?
Poem night. Good night. We'll see you later. We'll see you next week. We'll see him next year. Yeah,
Where
we'll see you
am I?
next week.
He's asking.
Yeah.
What year is this? Oh, hold on. Let me try to get up. Oh, I can't.
Oh, coach needs to help you. Yeah, coach needs help you. Yeah. I told you guys. His name was Joe too. Unfortunately, I told you.
Zoom it.
Yeah.
Come on now. Boom. Look how he just sets his back foot and then just popped him.
Yeah.
Look at the coach walk right
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
We're bullying
one more
the guy,
time.
but
One more
nobody knows
time.
who he
Yeah,
is, so
no,
it's all good,
it's all right. It's all right. He was one more time for the people. Yeah.
Great. I love boxing. Look at
Yeah.
So, Joe, explain to everybody why that happened, though. Because there's a whole backstory.
Yeah, there's a whole backstory. So what happens is that you go around and you spar other gyms, right? And I was going through a lot of rounds. I was doing like Shark Tank rounds, as they call them. So like fresh guys come in all the time. And then he's from my gym, and he's like, yeah, let's do some rounds. I'm like, okay, I'll do a couple more rounds. I'm pretty tired. So anyways, we do some more rounds, and he's hitting me hard, and he's starting to frustrate me. And I'm like, oh, yo, I'm pretty tired. And he's like, no, one more round. And this was the third round. And before that, he hit me like some clean shots before that, and he really got under my nerves. And I said, you know what? I'm going to set you up, and I'm going to actually put some force into this next punch once I line you up. And sure enough, it landed perfectly, and we put him on the canvas there.
And
so,
can I
yeah.
say something?
Yeah, for sure.
You're not usually a sinister person. You're quite kind. You're very like straightforward type person. The fact that you set him up there, that must have deviated a little from your personality. He must have really aggravated you.
No, he really did aggravate me. And I mean, like that was in my earlier 20s too. So like I had the blood flowing. So again, anybody who has any fighting background, I think a lot of the fighters are chill people, even though it is kind of the tough guy business and whatever. But what's this? Play it back, baby. We got some hockey highlights here. Let's go. Play this one back. Look at this here.
Ram, you got to go back here.
Yeah, here we are. We're here. Yeah, no, this isn't a fight. This is look at this. Boom. Grabs the puck here.
Who are you here, Joe?
I'm the guy with the puck. Bam. Snipe. All right, play it back one more time here. What a beautiful pass by my guy.
This is a Joe highlight reel.
Yeah. This is a highlight reel. Play it back one more time. So I'm this guy over here. I'm about to go creep. I'm creeping behind the D. Boom. I grab the puck off the blue line here. Boom. Snap. Top cheese right there. Let's go. This is what we do. And I dab up the D. Nice pass for the boys there. Is the D. Yeah. So hey man, walking highlight reel sometimes. But yeah, that's what we love to do, man.
I love it, man.
That's it. Yeah, it's fun stuff, man.
You're getting love from the chat. Yoel Reyna dropping another $5 super chat.
Oh, whoa. Let's go. Bang.
Deserves super chat. Y'all know how to deliver. I love it.
Yeah.
Blue cheese, you don't want none of that smoke, man. Just sit on that side of the screen and all right.
That's it. But yeah, it's all fun stuff, man. We like playing sports, and that's what we do. But we like trading stocks more most importantly. So yeah, just having a little fun with that one, guys. Make sure you get your votes in on the trade of the day as well too. But again, we're putting pucks in the back of the net and we're putting people on the canvas. So yeah, we like to have fun with it. But yeah, as you said, I'm a calm, cool guy. There's no need to.
You guys know who he is. You see him on a date. I'm sure a lot of the viewers now getting to know you.
I am prepared for if anything goes down on the TTC. Because we know how it gets on the TTC.
Wild.
So, it gets wild there, my friend.
Up on the TTC.
Yeah. But I mean, let's talk about some of these Mag 7 because some of them are starting to pull back a little bit here. But one that is extremely strong on the session so far is Microsoft continuing to move higher, holding VWAP really strong, really beautiful 5-minute opening drives here, guys. So yeah, again, we mentioned Microsoft. Nick W's in some Microsoft calls as well too. So that's a really good look on that front. My friend, I think you're looking pretty there on this Microsoft trade. I'm still holding. Actually, I don't know why it says I'm in Riot on the board there, but because I'm not, I'm all out of that position. I did get stopped out break even, and I didn't punch back in, which I should have. But that's okay. Let's see if we can break this resistance zone. Bitcoin is starting to pull back in a little bit here, putting kind of that indecision day on the session, just hovering around that 101K price target. So on the encrypted one, I mentioned this before. I don't know if it's going to happen now, but we need volume to step in order for us to break these key resistant levels. As you can see, we had this indecision day on BTC, and it had that outlying volume. So I think this is a really key inflection point on Bitcoin. If we break that, then the thesis to the downside is invalid, and I do think that we can squeeze to the top side. But again, it's only a matter of time. One thing I will point out, guys, is that the stair-stepping volume is dwindling and we're not breaking it. Oh, Katina man missed the highlight. He missed the highlight reel, man. You missed it, but that's okay. He'll see it in a Me, my highlights, boxing and hockey highlights, we threw up on there.
Oh,
yeah, we'll wind them there. Yeah. So we'll see from there. And actually, the team that we're supposed to play tonight, Sharif, forfeited, so we got the W.
Okay. Why'd they forfeit?
Yeah, it's a 10-15 start, so sometimes the boys really don't speak.
Black blades for my daughter.
The tape, right? Yeah. Oh, the steel one's nice.
Is that why you guys dropped 7 hundos yesterday at Costco?
No, that's flexible.
In addition to that?
In addition to those.
Man, spending a storm lately, bro.
So Tina Man's daughter plays hockey. She's quite good. So he's telling us. So yeah. So that's good stuff there, guys. But yeah, let's stick to the stock talk. Sharif, what do you got going on there,
I've got a couple of positions on, Joseph. I'm back in HIMX. I'd like the way that this held up at the 20 exponential, which was also the $0.25, and I've gotten back in. So we did really well on this initially, got stopped out for a break even for the last remaining amount. I'm back in and I'm layering my orders to see exactly what the situation here is on HIMX. Tight stop on this one, smaller size than before. I don't want to give back the move. So that's the situation on HIMX. We're also working our way in right now. We're 1 penny out of the money, less than 1 penny out of the money right now on Go EV. I still like the look of this one's jib. It's got that good price action support at around 25, 24 and a half pennies. This is the level I'm talking about right here. VWAP also south of that region at around 23. I've accounted for VWAP. I've accounted for price action support with my stop, and we'll see if this one wants to continue bull flagging it. It was a nice bull flag initially. We got another subsequent kind of bull flag pattern. We're caught right now in the range of what I perceive to be a bull flag. We'll have to wait and see whether that's true or not. 28 and 3/4 pennies is the high of the day. It's up 90%. It's off the highs, certainly though. Multiple topping tail candles when it was at the highs. We're trying to set up at key areas of support, or what I perceive to be support. So we're going to give this one the old community college try. The one I'm lamenting not having taken is Triple D. Yeah, what are you doing over there? You're wetting your beak on
No, well, you said, I thought that's what the community college try is,
Oh,
no?
yeah. No.
Is that not a little beat?
The expression is the old college try.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to belittle myself even more.
With the community college there.
Well, I don't mean to belittle anybody.
But I mean, JUCO football is it's good football. JUCO, junior college football.
Okay, well, that's true.
Community college,
a lot of people that
college,
say
right?
go into junior college and get into college.
Yeah.
We don't really have that here. You go to college and then you get, whatever. The point is, Triple D right now, doing its thing above $4, and this one I really wanted to work my way in. I didn't feel there was enough volume on the day or movement. I was wrong, and it's continuing to move up. 408, it's up 21%. Very respectful of the 10 exponential. Even when it did its little pullback over here, all the closing prints finish north of that 10 exponential. So we're going to keep our eye out on this one. Lastly here, CADL. We did really well on this one. Now it's back at a predictable area. The volume weighted average price around 9.5 or 9 mid-50s. There's also price action resistance initially at that same area where we find VWAP at. So this could be a pretty good area to work into your a CADL long right now. It's seeing like, I don't want to say it's bouncing off VWAP, but there are buyers, it looks like right now, at the volume weighted average price. So I'm keeping my eye here on CADL. I can certainly be persuaded to get back into this. It's a good look for it. Let's look at the other small cap gappers, because we've got 2 tabs today for small cap gappers. AMPG giving up the ghost. Riot continuing to do well, higher highs and higher lows. Hut 8 gave up the ghost. DXYZ below VWAP, so I don't really want to trade that at the moment. Not really my cup of tea. Let's flip back over here to big tech. Oh, wow. Tesla zigging and zagging.
Yeah,
Look,
selling.
happy I didn't get back into TSLA. I was really looking at getting back into TSLA once this reclaimed VWAP. But look at this ugly inverted hammer candle that printed on the 5-minute chart at 12:10. That is not what you want to see. This is the candle I'm talking about right here. It moves in, Joseph, into that 424.75. Yeah, it's lower highs, lower lows. Joseph, absolutely right. The trend is to the downside. But with respect to actual price action resistance, look at this. This white line over here, I know sometimes it's hard for you to see, but this white line I'm looking at, a horizontal white line, That is yesterday's closing print, 424 and 3/4. It goes right up to it and then quick as you like, down we go. Just like Joseph dropped that other Joe guy, it went down and it's continuing to make lower lows, Joseph. It's coming into that 420 area. We did have, some price action support in and around 420 earlier that imply, or not that implied balance, the reaction after we got the PPI print. It dipped down from 427.5. It did find support at 420. Obviously, we ended up breaching 420 in the opening range, but that's fine because that's a more volatile time of day. I'll submit to you that there could be price action support at 420 given what Tesla did in the pre-market. Careful with that, though. Obviously, Tesla very volatile these days because of obviously Elon and his $400 billion of net worth. No, I mean, really, it is moving up. It's moving up quite aggressively. So by definition, it is going to be a little bit volatile. So in Go EV, in HIMX, and really thinking about getting back into CADL here, if appropriate. Going to watch this one for a little bit longer, Joseph.
Yeah, good stuff. Shreve, I'm just looking for things on my scanner as well, too. So I like to go over kind of the top volume stocks of the session. So we'll go up the top four. And NVIDIA usually sitting in first place there with about 82 million shares traded on the session. And then Riot sitting in second place with 77 million shares traded on the session. And then Tesla in third. And then, someone did in the chat mention Warner Bros. And I forgot to bring it up because it gapped up like 15% or something along the lines.
WBD?
They said this one. Yeah. So, look at that.
What the hell is it?
Yeah, it was moving. So let's see if we can find something on WBD. What is that? I'm assuming that's
I got it right here.
NY, yeah? It is. NQ.
I got the B of A upgrade, maintains coverage, $14 price target. Oh, here it is.
There we go.
Warner Discovery to restructure, setting up potential strategic opportunities. They're restructuring, Joseph, into two operating divisions, one focused on the legacy cable business, the other on streaming. It looks like it could be setting up for a deal making where they divest, likely, the cable stuff, because cable is bleeding. I mean, it's down and to the right in terms of users, not up and to the right, whereas streaming is the other way around. Warner said Thursday it will merge the unit that concurrently houses HBO Max and Discovery Plus streaming services, as well as HBO, with another division that includes its Warner Brothers movies and TV production. Good call out there, Joseph. Didn't have eyes on this.
Yeah. Now we got some eyes on it, though, Sharif. So let's see if we can get some continuation in this trend. We're up about 14.75% there on this one. So I'm very, in my long term, anyone this, I'm very active UFC in Chicago and do come over to him and I do teach. Yeah, NT5. Yeah, man, I like that. So I'm glad that you train as well, too. It is a beautiful sport. We enjoy that. But yeah, Warner Bros. Guys, we're going to continue to see if we pull back to VWAP. This primary trend is extremely strong. So I don't expect these pullbacks to be overly deep unless we're looking for a reversal in this trend, but I don't think that's going to be the case. We have Riot starting to pull back in a little bit as well, too, but still putting in those higher lows. So that primary trend is also still intact with that good reversal candle that I mentioned earlier. So we're just going to sit on our hands a little bit here, wait to see if we can get a good price on Warner Bros. And then see if we can get that continuation in the trend. But guys, continue to let us know what you're looking at in the chat. It was Warner Bros. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you for the Warner Bros. Call out there. Much appreciated. And continue to let us know in the chat. If you have any questions about the lesson today as well, put that in the chat. We're going to do our best that we can to answer that. But again, 475 votes on the trade of the day poll. Fantastic. We're not even halfway through it. So, we're going to look for that 1K target as well, guys. I'll pull up the equity curve. We're on a little bit of a losing streak here, guys. So we need to pick it up. Hopefully we get the right direction again today, and then we can get back on the winning side of things and start moving in that northeast trajectory, because we do want to become positive. But yeah, good stuff there. Having fun with that. Hopefully you guys are having as much fun as I am on that one. So, but again, AMD, Advanced Money Destroyer, starting to kind of pull back here as well too. So let's see if we can continue to trade that way. The Qs in the SPY were ripping not too long ago above VWAP, but now we're chopping around a little bit. All right, so this has been a choppy day. We had a really stellar session yesterday, so I kind of expect this. it's better than a down day, right? So a little bit of sideways price action. So we'll take this into consideration. Don't look for those specific breakouts, maybe of the highs of days. Maybe we trade within the range on this session, and that's totally fine because then maybe tomorrow we get a little bit of some bullish price action. Though, what do you got?
I sent something to Ram, just waiting for her to throw it up there. Hilarious. Found it on X yesterday. I just want to share it. I'm gonna have like these like mini segments during the How to Trade show where if there's something funny and market related, we're gonna throw it on, and I would invite you to do the same thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not everything has to be knockouts, though, Joseph.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Yeah. We don't want to be violent all the time, and some hockey highlighghts maybe, and no, but we'll get
ready.
Yeah.
Okay, Ram,
Let's
don't
see
worry. It's PG. You don't have to worry about it. Let me know when it's ready, because I'm gonna read it off my phone, but we can put it up for everyone on the screen. It's quite hilarious. So it's a Wall Street Bets entry on Reddit. I got it off X, but it's quite funny. We'll wait for a second while the team sets it up. While we're doing that, I should let you know that I'm still involved in HIMX and GoEV. GoEV still above the volume weighted average price. All right, it's ready, says Ram. I like it. So here it is. Here's the title. Looking to marry someone with $1 million plus of short-term capital gains in either LA or California for tax savings. I have, the person goes on to say, 1 million plus in losses and split the savings. Now here's the body of the entry. Looking to marry someone with $1 million plus of short-term capital gains in the LA or California area for tax savings. And then he goes on to say the same thing. I unfortunately lost a bunch of money this year with some risky gambles and have about $1.2 million of context capital losses. I would like to marry somebody with very large, 1 million plus, short-term capital gains and split the difference on the tax savings. I'm proposing keeping 40 cents for every $1 of capital losses I provide for myself and offering you the remainder 10 cents or so, about $120,000 context if you are at the highest tax bracket. The formal agreement can be formalized with a lawyer in relation to the marriage. Slight preference for females, but open to males too. Preference is just to avoid having to explain why a straight male married a man in the future. I prefer if you are in LA, SoCal area, as that's where I'm located. Marriage would need to occur before the end of the calendar year for clarity. Despite having heavy losses, I'm not a total loser. Make several $100,000 a year. I got a good job, etc. I'm not that risky. If you're a serious suitor, we can discuss more. Please DM or chat me with serious inquiries. And here's what I chuckled about this, because I've never seen it come from that angle. But we often hear about marriages for immigration purposes. You want to get that green card, you want to get that landed resident or whatever.
But here you get married to reduce losses.
Now you're doing it for tax purposes on a short-term basis. What is happening, bro? Anyway, man, I thought that was hilarious.
It is absolutely hilarious.
I'm going to share that with you guys. Anytime I find something funny like that, you guys can take it off the screen now. But yeah, people out there doing the absolute most. But it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal. I mean, like, if you're okay with that whole thing and having to go through possible investigation, this, that, and the other, it's interesting.
NT5, message me back in the chat there. I'm interested on what you got going on there with the UFC. So, yeah. Sharif, what do you got? You got anything going on? What trades do you have going on? Because it says I'm in Riot. I'm not in Riot. I'm waiting for Warner Brothers to turn around a little bit here. So let's see if we get that kind of turnaround price action that we're looking for on Warner Brothers.
Yeah, you guys can reset the position board anytime you're ready, so that Joseph's position can get reflected. We're still waiting here for a possible print, Joseph, at around 8:45 on HIMX. Looking for this one to continue holding the 10 exponential. The volume's really dropped off, so I have to be careful with this one, because I think on Monday, I got caught in a downhaul in a very similar looking chart. It was near highs, and then somebody of note, a seller of note, I should say, came in, really tanked this one down. So I'm accounting for that whole thing with my stop placement now. Now, here's the situation. Go EVs at VWAP, but it's awfully close to my exit. I mean, it's going to have to hold above the volume-weighted average price. I'm talking about Go EV. It's been holding up here for about 15 minutes, bouncing off the volume-weighted average price. So we'll see if this one wants to hold up. We're only 2 pennies out of the money, but that's not really the look here. We're looking for not just to limit losses, but to actually make profits. So keeping my eye out on that one. ARQQ, I'm not going to trade this one, so I'm going to take it off the trading screen over here and put on Triple D. Where does this one trade? In New York. Okay. I like Triple D because it's been awfully directional, up 18.5% more, 18.84%, almost 19% on the day. Took 4, and now it's right at the 10 exponential moving average and that $4 area. Right at both. So if you were looking for possible whole dollar support, this is it right here. So I'm going to keep my eye out on this one. I could certainly be persuaded to weasel into this with a tight stop below 395, for example, but I don't think that that's the right move, especially with VWAP being at around 380 here on Triple D. So yeah, I haven't watched it trade for all that much. It's been quite directional. I think we're in line for probably a deeper pullback. If we do, maybe I'll pick it up off the 20. Packing my patience with this one as well. What are you guys trading there in the chat? Tag, Joe, or I? Triple D's. I like Triple D. Bob Curran. Bob, I haven't seen you drop anything in the chat in a hot minute, and when you drop, you make me chuckle. Shout out to Big Bob Curran. What else you guys got in the chat there? Yikes on the dude with a marriage proposal, says Other Zinc. Yeah, it's a long shot, bro. I don't know if it's even... It looks like more tongue-in-cheek, but you never really know with these guys. All right, COO7KIX2. Sharif, can you review SENS? I think I got the wrong one yesterday because I reviewed one. You guys were like, no, I think you reviewed the wrong one. SENS. Here it is, guys. A good look. Okay, SENS. It's a sub $1 name trading at 44 pennies, but a great-looking chart pattern. Let me throw out the ticker for you guys on that one. SENS. And yeah, this one is putting in a hell of a day today. It's up 22.33%. Very directional. Closed out 36 pennies. The high of the day 46. So 10 penny move. Looking to hold up at the 20 exponential. So it seems you got a bit of a 2-candle hold up there. But yeah, we're still dropping down. We haven't made any necessarily higher highs. I like it possibly at 42 pennies, 42.5 pennies for that VWAP area. We'll have to wait and see if it weasels on down there. But I'm seeing Go EV break VWAP, and that's my entry. That's my invitation to get the hell out of there because I don't want any smoke with this one. Why is my stop for the second time this week not triggering? That's really frustrating, and it keeps saying script failed. All right, so I'm gonna keep my eye on this one. If it breaks below 22, I'm gonna get out of this one. What are you doing, Joseph?
Yeah, I'm about to hop in some Warner Bros here because I do like this signal. This on the 1 minute we have that doji candle, so this could signal a potential turnaround on this one. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a slow burner, which is totally fine. We just have to sit in it a little bit longer, and we'll use VWAP as our stop there. So we'll tap in a little bit here, guys, on this one. So let's see if we can get that continuation in this trend because it is trending to the top side, and we like that. But someone in the chat mentioned Palisade Bio. Yeah, let's take a look at what this is. I'm not too familiar with this stock, PALI. Okay, so, whoa, about a $2 million market cap? Okay, that's interesting, and I don't think I see that too often. Is a biopharmaceutical company focused on developing novel therapeutics for serious chronic gastro disease. It is engaged in advancing palate. Okay, so let's take a look at it from a technical standpoint. You do see that volume start to kick in on it. Nice big engulfing candles here. This is definitely around Sharif's ballpark on this one, but I don't think we got the percentage metric that he's looking for. He likes to see those high percentage gap ups and movement on the day. But let's take a look at it from a daily perspective. Zoom out a little bit for you here. Tough. Whoa, okay. I don't know if there's been any splits, but this is not something that I would look to get involved with. That volume is kicking in. That's the only thing it really has going for. But other than that, we're going to have to move on from that one because we're not going to pay too much time or attention to that. But okay, guys, excuse me. Why am I in Warner Bros? and now it's moving to the top side. Beautiful. We like that. Again, it's the same signals. I pointed this signal out on Riot. It's essentially the same signal here on WBD. Again, you have that indecision on the primary trend. We're starting to move a little bit higher, but that's something that we like. So we might look to take a little bit off at 1250. So what I will do is I'll post Sharif there at 1250. I'm not a big poster guy, but we'll post a little bit here just for, I added, okay. All right, never mind, this is why, but let's see what I can do. Why did it do that? That's okay though. We'll change this up a little bit here, Sharif. No worries about that one. And then we'll just have that post. So let's see if we can continue. There we go. 1250. We're gonna look to take our first out on WBD. Good job on the vote so far, guys. 622. I didn't even look, but I already assume which way the market is gonna want to go, or the group is gonna want to go. So let's see if the SPY can turn things around on the session and start moving. But it is time for the spiled one. The big piled one. He's in. He's making a presence, as always. Let me read it first before we say it out loud.
Yeah, it looks okay.
It looks okay. So Sharif, Paint Vendor just told me 6% increase January 1st. YouTube TV just sent out a 13% price increase. Further bleeding of tapped out middle class.
Yeah, you don't like to hear that. You don't like to hear that, obviously. Squeezing... yeah, that's a bit of a tough look, but big spile. They got shareholders that want more and more and more profits and more revenue. It's kind of the capitalist dilemma. If you're not growing, you're going back. And that's kind of the way the whole system works, brother. I feel you. Especially, I know that I completely understand, but we get rinsed, I think, way more than you guys get rinsed down south. That's just the nature of living up in this country. Whether it's because of Forex, whether it's because of a smaller market or higher taxes, we're constantly getting rinsed, whether through taxation or higher prices. So I totally feel you, brother. I totally feel you. It's a bit of a... I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say.
Tough go up here north of the border, for sure.
God, yeah.
Definitely.
Let's have a look at Tesla. Guys, well, let's look at the MAG right here, because the volume weighted average price coming in right now on the NQ December contract, which again, we keep talking about this level because VWAP and that 700-point level awfully close together right now. And so here we go again with that lower high on the future, but again, a higher low. Bit of a compression pattern with really no discernible trend. It could be a sideways day. That's fine. We made all-time highs yesterday on the NQ, so it stands to reason we have a day of indecision. We'll have to wait and see. Not basing any trades right now on this 700-point level or VWAP, but I'm keeping my eye on Tesla. And the reason I'm keeping my eye on Tesla is because it's been very strong, and it again found support generally at that 420 area. Like it did wick obviously below. It's above right now, going into 421, 421.50. It's had a lot of resistance, I would say, at that 425 level, which is in and around yesterday's closing print. I tried my hand at this one with TSLA. We did get stopped out. So I don't know if I want to give this one another opportunity if I don't feel like I've got a read on it. So I'm going to keep watching that one. Meta also coming into an interesting area. Meta found support at VWAP last time. And VWAP and the closing print on Meta at 632 2/3, kind of one in the same, very close. VWAP's south of 633 by a skosh. And the closing print, as I mentioned, 632 2/3. So Meta's right there again. Last time it did find a big move up from that, not like big spot, but that 62 1/3. It weaseled all the way up to almost 632 1/3. It weaseled up all the way almost to 636. So you could have got dollars on that VWAP bounce on Meta. It's right back there again, but most notably this time with a lower high. So yeah, those are the situation. That's the situation right now. On the future, I don't really have anything other than HIMX. Nothing's really to my liking at these levels. Keeping my eye on Triple D because it's still holding up at $4. Could try my hand at that one. CADL did find support at VWAP, so that's a mistrade by me. That was going to be a 40-penny winner. Great two-candle hold up there as it moves to the high side. So going to keep my eye out on those ones. Joseph, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at someone's name in the chat. It is God Emperor Almighty Forefather Trump, which is absolutely,
Wow. That's intense.
yeah, that's really intense. And then what they said was a little comical as well too. So I like those types of jokes. But we're sitting here in Warner Bros. Let's see if we can break this 1245 level and head up to that 1250. We added accidentally on that, so that's okay. We're going to continue to hold. We still have that definitive out. So 1230, we're going to pop out of this trade, and therefore the thesis is invalid if it does go to the south side. The overall markets are kind of just chopping around right now, hovering above VWAP, which is totally fine. So let's take a look at the Qs actually and just see where we stand from a percentage metric on the session, because why? Okay. Yeah, so let's let it load up here. So we're negative on the session, but nothing crazy. Down about 0.4% on the session. So that's nothing to worry about. Again, after a really strong session with a lot of the Mag 7 making all-time highs. I believe Amazon touched all-time highs, Google did, as well as Tesla. So totally healthy in the market. Real subtle pullback as of right now, guys, only down about 0.4% on the session. So nothing to be alarmed about right now. Totally healthy for the market. Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Forex AU. I appreciate that. And guys, continue to let me know in the chat. Meta is a digital defense contractor. They'll be fine. Yeah, let's take a look at Meta. I haven't seen Meta. Did they make all-time highs yesterday as well, too? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, I think it did. We're going to find out right. Yeah, we're going to find out right now. Yeah, it did. So, again, all-time high. So a lot of these Mag 7, the mega capitalization stocks are starting to push higher. And sure enough, it's reflecting in the overall market. So again, guys, totally healthy on the pullback. Nothing to be alarmed about. We can't be mega green every day. That's unfortunate. Otherwise, this game would be significantly easier. Which market is it that you can't short? Is it the Japanese or the Korean market? There's no short.
Actually, I don't know.
I think it might be the Korean market, guys. Fact check me in the chat, but there's no shorting in one of the Eastern Asian markets. So yeah, which is yeah.
Is it the Japanese? Is it the Nikkei or the Kospi that you can't short on?
They don't they're not worried about this, so we'll figure it out. Or the chat will fact check us.
Will let us know. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, chat will let us know. So let us know which one there's no shorting. But again, we're just sitting in WBD, nothing really going on. The momentum has started to slow down on the session with Bitcoin just hovering around 101,000, sitting on top of that range. I don't think it's China. Tesla's green every day though. Yeah, on random oddities it's not, but I mean, for the past little bit, it has been, and sure enough, if you can participate in that, then by all means continue to do so, because just keep milking something that works over and over again until it doesn't. So yeah, that's the good luck.
Asking, hold on.
Yeah, for sure.
Japanese market.
Yeah, so it will figure out right now which one there is no. Yeah, pretty sure it's the South Korean market. Yeah, Wayner would know. I heard it from him. We're getting a lot of different answers. It is both of them.
Both Japan and South Korea have restrictions on short selling, but specifics depend on the market and current regulations. So Japanese market, it is allowed, but subject to strict regulations. South Korea has been more restrictive. Short selling has been banned or suspended temporarily in the past due to volatile market conditions, such as during COVID in 2020. Even when it's allowed, only certain stocks like large cap stocks may be eligible for short selling. South Korea often enforces stricter controls compared to Japan, reflecting sensitivity to retail investor sentiment and market stability. That's good to know, man. Thanks for letting me know that.
Yeah. Sure, Wayner told me that. Wayner told me that one a while ago. Yeah,
he told me that.
Yeah, he's a smart kid. Guys, 700 votes. Let's get 300 more there. We got 18 minutes before we document. I think it's the fifth trade as a collective unit. The equity curve is starting to slope down a little bit, but I'm sure we're going to turn it around today, that's for sure.
Ostentatious Productions asking a great question. When are we going to be able to trade 24 hours? Well, we're currently able to in a technical sense. I'll just tell you how. So on my platform here, which I'm not vouching for, I don't think it's the only one that does it either, I have access to a gateway called Blue Ocean. And Blue Ocean allows you to trade after 8 p.m. and before 4 a.m. For pretty much every equity. I don't know if the small cappers are included in that, but literally every name on my watch list, my personal watch list that I have here in different sectors, I've been able to see trade after the bell. Now, that's not a glowing endorsement for Blue Ocean in general, because the liquidity is kind of suspect, right? The spreads are large. It really depends. I personally would only save, I would save my trades on Blue Ocean for things like anything that happened after hours. That would be great arbitrage opportunities to weasel into. That's what I would do it for. But now, to answer directly your question, when is the market at large with all the gateways, Arca, Edge, all bats, all of them going to be available 24 hours? There was talk, I did hear about, I want to say a month or two ago, fact check me chat, you guys probably know this more than I do, that there was the possibility we would have 24/5, right? So 24 hours a day, 5 days a week of trading on all the gateways. But again, we'll have to wait and see when that happens, if it happens. But if you really want to be able to trade 24 hours a day, you do have that option through Blue Ocean. I know that I have it. And by extension, obviously, you have it as well. We're on the same,
yeah, I mean, if you really want to scratch that itch, then just go and trade some crypto or something along
those lines. And there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. You got the future, you got the crypto, you got currencies, Forex is 24 hours.
If you're really nicking to put on a trade and some risk, then just go dabble in some Ethereum or some Bitcoin, because that never stops. It's never ending. So you can trade that whenever you please, opposed to kind of some illiquid stocks, I guess, on Blue Ocean. So
Sacred One asking a great question. Texas Stock Exchange coming soon. It's not really a question. It's more of a statement. Yeah, we were hearing about the possible, competitor of a third major exchange to rival the NYSE and the NASDAQ. I believe they were saying Austin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's definitely Texas, but I thought it was going to be Austin. A lot of that really had to come down to some of the new requirements that were put in by the NASDAQ and the NYSE during that 2020 to 2022 period, with respect to minorities being on boards and with respect to I guess, having more women on the boards of listed companies. I think the NASDAQ is walking back some of those because they did lose a court decision, I believe, in the Court of Appeal of Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. Fact check me again. They lost by a small margin, 9-8. I don't know why there's so many judges on the Court of Appeal there. Must have been court packing. But anyway, they did lose an appeal, so I don't think the NASDAQ is actually going to appeal that decision. So it was challenged, I don't know by who, but they did lose in the Court of Appeal, which is obviously an appellate court. I don't think they're going to challenge to the Supreme Court. We'll have to wait and see. If that is the case, then it makes the argument or the basis for another exchange out in Texas maybe a little bit weaker. Who knows? That's just my little 2 cents there. I'd love to hear some of the thoughts that you guys have on there about that other exchange and whatever else. All right, let's keep an eye out on Meta. I'm liking how many times it's been bouncing off VWAP here, with the future also holding above VWAP and holding above that 700-point area. Meta finding some support at 633 bucks, I believe, or so, in and around there, Joseph. So I might weasel into a Meta.
We need a weasel here, because it's the beak wetter. It's either we're wetting our beaks or weaseling our way into something. But I just want to take a look at Mara. I know some of the miners were moving. Riot was moving earlier this morning, but this thing has been the polar opposite of what's going on with kind of Bitcoin and some of these other miners. Tough game. I mentioned why I think that the miners are in a little bit more of a tougher ride than just the underlying asset itself. Just the competition is too tough. The computers are getting better and better, and you have to keep upgrading them. It's excuse me. It's a really expensive game to get in. So again, the price is reflective in Mara here. So just keep an eye out. It's a little disappointing. I was thinking about getting into Mara, but just kind of doing a little bit of research, I decided to pass on that and just go with the underlying asset itself, Bitcoin. So yeah, we'll stick with Bitcoin. Mara just chopping around. I don't even know if they offered a dividend. I don't think they do, or anything along those lines. So again, slightly speculative, but just moving sideways. So tough look on Mara. Meta kind of having a mixed day too, around 632. I know someone mentioned Costco as well too, and I heard the boys over on the desk talking about Costco as well too, looking for that split. Yeah, so we tapped on that $1,000 mark, I think, today or yesterday even as well too, just a little bit above $1,000 on this one. So yeah, I mean, okay, you got it, cool. So yeah, we ready for that now? All right, let's fire it up.
Guys, imagine trading with someone else's capital instead of your own. That's what it means to be a funded trader at Trade the Pool, and this is how it works. First, you complete the evaluation program by meeting your profit targets. Once you succeed, you trade with Trade the Pool's capital, which allows you to trade with up to $260,000 in buying power. It's literally the best part is, you keep up to 80% of the profits while the firm takes all the risk. It's the ultimate way to trade, whether you're a beginner or a professional trader. So go on, guys. Check out tradethepool.com. You can weasel on over to the bottom right corner of your screen and scan that QR code, or you can go to the link in the description of this video. Shout out to the great folks there at Trade the Pool. And I'm a big fan of Mitch's. I think he's a good trader. And he's also quite charismatic.
Look at this Michael E. kid here.
Oh,
you see him in 10K? Yeah, attaboy Michael E.
Attaboy. Okay, I see that.
Michael E.
All right,
yeah.
TTAN is open.
TTAN
Brenko's just
open,
yelled about it, and here it is.
people.
I've got it here. All right, here
That
we
is
go. So it's
insane.
the opening print, guys, on TTAN. I'm going to tell you in 1 second. 101 exactly. It's at 102 right now. Zigging and zagging. The spread large. About 60 pennies as I'm seeing it right now on the level 1. 99s showing up on the level 2 with the bid at 01. So it's about almost $1 spread from what I can see here. The level 2 is malfunctioning, so you got to keep your eye on the level 1, which are the top two right here. So that's your bid on the level 1, and that's your ask on the level 1. So it looks like there is a seller of note here at 103, unable to break through that quite yet. This is very volatile right now, so I should let you know this company, what is it called again? I'll tell you in 1 second. I've got all the information on it in a hot second. Yes, so it's called Service Titan. It's technically the IPO was $71 per share. They raised approximately $625 million, selling only 8.8 million shares. That is the float. Okay, so it's like almost a small cap gapper right now with a very, very small float, 8.8 million shares. Raising $625 million. The valuation is about $6.3 billion. Obviously, it's trading under TTAN on the NASDAQ. What they do is they're cloud-based software for contractors, and they assist with marketing, sales, scheduling, customer service, and they're looking at helping family-run contracting business. Brendo gave the great example earlier when he was doing the renos at his place. His contractor would give him access to the plans and whatever so that he could see everything that was happening in real time. Or here we go. New high of day. It took out that 103, 104.95 now. The new high of day took out that seller at 103. It is now up 47%. That 47% is from the 70. That can't be right. Yeah, that is right. What am I saying?
Right.
From that $71 area. That's where we're technically the open. Obviously, that is not what we had access to. That's if you participated in the IPO by invitation, obviously. So right now, we're trading at 104.50. Looks like there is a bit of a seller there at the $0.50. I'm not going to get involved in this. That's not my cup of tea to trade these with no areas of support or resistance.
I was just about to ask you that. Do you dabble in? Like, how do you look at it? There's no candles.
One IPO?
IPO,
Yeah, that's not my thing. But good look right now for whoever wants it. Obviously, you're going to get volatility in spades right now, but it is a bit of a pricier open over here, so hard to manage risk, and there's obviously no equity derivatives that we can trade in exchange of it. So we'll keep tabs on that. Looks like I am getting some print here, hit prints on HIMX, as that one just took out the top there. Now I'm waiting at the $0.50. We'll see if this one wants to curl back up. Joseph, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking at TTAN as well too. I don't think I'm going to look to participate in this one. It's just not my realm. There's no data to go off of. So we're just starting the prints, and I think this is just complete speculative trading at this point, even though I guess it all is. But this is not down my alleyway either, Sharif. So we'll go back to our Warner Bros. Trade that is kind of just chopping around here. Which is totally fine. So let's see if we can get that 1250 fill. If not, if we break those lows, that's totally fine. Kyle, let's take a look at Tesla. I don't disagree with you on the fact that we are slightly toppy, but I don't think that there's going to be this massive pullback on Tesla just because of how strong this stock is. I'm on a daily chart here, but you asked me to break it down to the 60-minute. I don't see anything that is like, hey, we're in for a deep reversal up here. This is totally reasonable and orderly price action, other than sitting up here at the top, which is fine. It's just consolidating in this range, which is, again, with the stock that's moved up as much as it has in the past month or so, it's totally fine. So again, I don't think there's going to be a massive short on Tesla, especially because I'm bullish on Tesla, Kyle. So I added to my position before this breakout, which was really nice. So that's working out as well too on that. But again, I can't be bearish on this market, Kyle, because we're just moving higher. I think the sentiment in the overall market is bullish on equities for a little bit here, especially with the new administration coming in. So again, I like the longs. I'm going to stick long, especially because I'm long WBD as well too. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. You could be right. I know you're printing on $20 isn't worth it. Well, you want to? Oh, you're trying to bet me now? Okay. Yeah, $20. If you want to put $20 on it, by all means, for some short-term moves. But again, I think for the long-term, Tesla is going to appreciate. Again, Bitcoin, guys, just trading around that 101,000 and change. Just hovering on the potential inside day, I think. But let's see what Warner Bros. Can do for us here if we can get that 1250 fill, Sharif.
I see you, Benton. I see you. Did we talk Arsenal already? Great win yesterday in the Champions League. Obviously, he's talking about that. Arsenal playing Monaco at home in the Champions League. Look, we beat them. We beat them handily. But let me tell you, I did not like our performance in the second half, man. I thought we gave them way too many opportunities. In addition to that, the opportunities that we did have in the first half, we didn't capitalize on any of them, man. And so that was a little bit of a bit of a Debbie Downer. Can't argue with the dub. A dub's a dub. We're now in third place in the Champions League with the new format. So there's no groups now. It's just one big table. 36, I believe, teams. 38. 36. Fact check me, chat. You guys know better. And we did quite well. Liverpool in first. I believe Barca is second. But it's been an outlying year, man. You've got like people like Man City is near the relegation zone in 22nd. Real Madrid is sucking up a storm as well. So it's been a kind of a bamboozling year in the traditional sense in the Champions League. But I do love the new format. I happen to be a big fan of it. So we'll see how that all kind of plays out. But I am happy with how we played yesterday for the most part. But there were definitely some parts there I was none too plussed with. So that's the situation right now. But shout out to Benton. Good look for Arsenal yesterday. Guys, interesting look right here with NVDA. I got short like a crazy person at generally 138 to account for that 138 area. We did have lots of price action resistance in and around this area in the pre-market, so I'm giving it a try here. I already wet my beak on some profits, but I have a feeling that this one's going to go because the future is now breaking out, and it may be NVIDIA related here. We're above the area we rejected last time at 21,725. We're at that 30-point area. So if that keeps going, well, then that's no good for me. So I'm going to keep my eye on that 138 level. Already have my stop in place here on NVDA. I see, though, some other names are curling up to the top side right now. I'm seeing Apple knock on the door of that 248 and a third again. You also, what's up? You also got Microsoft curling back up above 454 and a quarter. So good strength coming from Softy there. I was looking at getting in on Meta at VWAP, but it's been doing a 5-candle nothing. A 5-candle nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, it's holding there, so it could certainly curl up. I don't want to take my chances with these lower highs, but Meta anyway at an interesting level, no doubt about it, at that volume-weighted average price. Let's see if we can get some more blood to the downside here on NVIDIA. I think I'm waiting at 65, zigging and zagging right now with that 75 penny area, but the future headed to the high side. Sharif, let you fanboy Tesla without jumping to jiggle Musk Christmas bell. What are you talking about, bro? I'm short right now. I'm short NVIDIA. Let me concentrate.
With TraderTv.live fanboy?
Yeah, I told him I liked his name.
Yeah, I like his name.
So that's the look there. So keeping my eye still on NVIDIA right now, looking for that 65 print. Here we go with the low 70s. There does seem to be some buying in and around this low 70s area. So packing my patience, seeing if we kind of reject that area and weasel on down. Oh, wow. We'll see exactly when we get there. Apple to the high side, though, taking out that third of a dollar, could be on its way into that $0.50, Joseph.
Yeah, for sure, guys. We got 850 votes on this one. We only got a couple minutes left before we start docking up the next trade. Let's get that to 1,000, folks, and then we're going to close that poll. So 150 likes. You guys can do it. Fantastic. So, because then we're going to put up the next poll as well, too. So 852. Let's get an extra 150 in 2 minutes. That would be a record. I don't think we've done that before, but that's what we do. We get better and better every day. So pump up those votes, another 150, and then we will be singing our merry way onto the next trade. I want to get that in because it's looking like we're going to go. Oh, whoa, this might be the closest one of all time, to be honest with you, with a 55% to the long side and 45% to the short side. So this is as close as it gets. I think it's been mid-70s for the rest of the polls. So this is a neck-and-neck race. So, Kyle, did you vote today? It's that time. It's time to start partying. What are you in, Katina, man?
I got Titan off 101.
Titan off 101. Let's pull up TTAN. For the Katina man to see what he's at. Are you long or short this one here? Short? Short. I can't see. Another dollar club. Oh, so sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so he's long on that one. Neil was giving me a hard time too. He said short. Okay, quick maths on that one. Well, sorry. But yeah, I mean, hey, there you go.
We're long 101.
We're long 101s. Perfect. That's all we need to hear. So he's starting to move to that top side on TTA. And guys, what do you got going on, Sharif?
Just getting the
getting this second poll ready? Okay, so Sharif's working away on that. We're kind of lagging 881 with only a minute left. We're going to close that poll, guys. 1,000 votes would be fantastic. And what's going on with WBD? Because it just keeps tapping on this 1250. We're not getting it. But yeah, Sharif, what do you got going on, buddy?
Yeah, we're still in the short, Joseph.
There we go.
Now it's looking like it's going to weasel back on up above 138. We almost got that print at 136, 137.60s, but right back up into the 90s we go. There's not much room between my entry and my stop on this one, so kind of feeling, I don't feel confident about it, but I'm happy with where I entered because the risk that I have to put on, not going to cause too much of a loss if we do get stopped out. So going to keep my eye out on that one, but I see Apple all the way up back into that $0.50 again. Now, here's the deal. Apple's been rejecting off this same area for basically all day. Here's the area that we've been into on Apple. It's really that 248.60 to 248.50. The closing prints all look like they're around that 50 area, but the wicks do weasel on up to 60. That's exactly where we're at right now. So this could be a hell of a short on Apple right now. Now, you don't necessarily have higher lows to say, oh, well, you know what? It's an ascending wedge, Sharif. Watch out for that flat top break. Well, not really, because look at this area trough over here. This took us to 247.73, but on this occasion we dipped down to 247.63, so technically not a higher high. Here we go with NVIDIA. Looks like we will get stopped out as there is a buyer, or there's buying aggressively at 138. Yeah, so we do get stopped out for the remaining amount there. Sucks to be me. So we're gonna just flatten out, take out all those orders. And if this one wants to reject 138 and come back down, I'll get back in. But it looks like really that the best short right now for the Mag 7 could be this Apple short, as it is at a predictable area, 248.5, and looking to bleed some more over here. Also, Tesla back at the volume weighted average price. It's been zigging and zagging with that VWAP all morning, looking like a good double bottom if it really takes out that level. What I'd be on the lookout for is that 425 break and take. It's been rejecting that 425 level all morning on TSLA. But yeah, NVIDIA continuing to head to the high side over here. Meta did find support at the volume weighted average price, but not by that much. We're talking 50 pennies, if that at the most. So we'll keep tabs on Meta, and we'll keep tabs on the rest of the Mag 7 here, Joseph.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, Sharif. Are you ready to start to document our fifth trade here?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's that time, baby. So you know what we're gonna do? Sharif's gonna pull up the SPY chart.
Sir.
We're gonna get our entry prices, our target price, exit, and stop loss. All right, brother. So let's document this, guys. You can see our equity curve. We'll pull up Sharif's chart quick here on the screen. Ram, if you guys don't mind. Yeah, there we go. We got my man Sharif's chart up there, and then we'll pull up our documentation. All right, entry price.
606.67.
606.67?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
So we're going 6. Okay, so we got TT. Okay,
we'll go with Titan. It's popping. Yeah, we'll come back to this.
Here it is. So now it's
there
bouncing.
We go.
A huge buyer, the Katina man says. There's a 984 lots at 90. That's big. Okay, so that's what he's talking about there. So you have to also look, in addition to the size, rejecting your order or preventing you from ascending, you have to look at what could backstop you. There's a big buyer at 102.90, about 1,800 lots, a little bit more, and that's get eaten away over here. We're not by much. Keep your eye out on that, guys, because this could drop off. Now, look. this could be, I would say this is not spoofing because the size is getting eaten up. So it's not like he was posting at a far away level and then taking off the order as we got closer to that level. So here we go, moving away from that, what was it, 102? I don't even remember, 102 and change that level was at. Anyway, moving up over here into that 103.50. Okay, so Joseph, we said 606.67?
606.67.
You've got all the data.
Yeah, our target price being 608.67, and then our stop loss being at 605.67. If we can pull up my chart real quick, Ram, there it is, folks. This is the type of documentation you want to do, whether it's your day-to-day, just keeping kind of this kind of information documented is really good. And you can go back and check that data, all right? So we've been long this whole way, guys. You can see the equity curve from that standpoint. So let's see what we got going on. We were at 102. Beautiful stuff. Thank you, Ram. And we can send it back off to Sharif there, my guy.
Yeah, well, call me crazy, Joseph.
Crazy.
I'm, yeah.
Crazy.
I shouldn't say that anymore because there's way too many participants up on the stage, whether it's Joseph, Ram, the Katina man. Everybody's like, yo, bro, you're crazy. I love it. So shout out to the boys. And
ask and you shall receive.
Yeah, good point. So we're short again. Joseph, I see a topping tail on NVIDIA, and I'm short again over here. 138. I'm looking for this one to bleed. We're waiting for the print at 82s. That's going to be, there we go. We get the first print. Now I'm waiting at 69s. So if NVIDIA wants to bleed over here with this topping tail candle, let's not put too much stock into one measly candle. But 138 was a level of importance for me anyway, right? Because there was that whole wiffle and waffle area that we had during the pre. So we're going to post a couple of more, possible outs over here on this bad boy as it continues to bleed. Waiting at 75s. Let's see if this one wants to descend. You don't hear me often say descend because I'm usually long. Down into that $0.75 area on NVIDIA. There we go. We got the print. So let's see if this one wants to weasel on more. Come on now, NVIDIA. Let's go. Don't make me look like a fool. All right, we're waiting at 69s, but up it goes quickly as you like. We did get a new candle make a newer low. So now I'm going to put my stop on this one at 138.09, 138.10. I'm going to put it at 138.11 because that is technically the high of day is 138.09. So if we make a new high, I want no smoke. And so that's going to be the situation there. We will look to get out if it breaks above that. Otherwise, we're going to post orders and see if we can take NVIDIA short. Day trader cut. Sharif, Joseph, 30-year bond. Bit to cover actually 2.390. The forecast was we don't know what the forecast. The previous was 2.640. So it looks like it was met with more exuberance, right? Because if it's got a lower yield, then there was more buying. That's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. Man, NVIDIA is just zigging and zagging as the future's moving up here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to keep my eye out on that. TTAN, everybody's yelling about that. Let's have a look at what TTAN is doing. Right back above that 103. Well, it's trying to break above 103.5 right now. Looks like it's being prevented by a bit of a seller in the low 40s here, Joseph. Let's keep an eye out on this one.
Yep, dude, I don't know, man. It's freezing in here. I don't know if anybody else thinks the same, but I feel like the AC is on for some like the AC is on, which is madness because it's minus 18 out. And so I don't know. But yeah, guys, what happened there? Did you get stuck? Yeah, what does it? No, but what does it feel like? What does it feel like? It's like minus 18. It's chaotic. But anyway, I'm warm, people, man. We need the warmth. But yeah, guys. All right. So let me know in the chat what you guys are looking at. NVDA is stopping. Bad idea. Shorting is not stopping. Yeah, I agree. I mentioned this yesterday. I do think that we have a potential bounce on NVDA. That's why I created that trade. I'll post it on Twitter later. But again, I do have that trade going on right now, the bull put spread for a little passive, $20 to contract. So that's good. We can collect that. So a nice little passive by the end of next week. So leading into the holidays. So let's see if we can continue this bounce. We did gap down on NVDA, which is totally fine. Slowly starting to recover on the session. Let's see if we can hold these definitive support levels around 132, which I think that's going to be a big inflection point. I don't think there's going to be that much more downside to NVDA. I could be totally wrong, but if we open up below that, what is that, the $4 club there? Katina Man, that he's in on TTAN, so he's partying up a storm over there. So let's see if we can continue to hold 131. That's a key level. I think if it breaks, there can be some more potential downside. I mentioned this on Uber the other day as well, too. Once those levels broke, you have that head and shoulders pattern, and then you have that kind of the shoulder line breaking, and then some more downside with volume stepping in as well too. So always keep an eye out on the volume in correlation to price. Even though it is an inside day today on Uber, it is still to the downside. So let's see if we can hold these levels. There is another key support level around 62.88 on Uber. So see if it holds. Other than that, we do go and test these potential isolated pivots on this one here. But I think it's overdone. I mean, I don't know how much reflection to the earnings Florida has into Uber, but again, it's just a little small market share being chewed up by Waymo going over there in Florida.
Yeah, it's really interesting because they're like the only actual functional what is it called? Autonomous AV taxi, right? So let's see how they all do.
One that's in operation, right? Like we don't have robo taxis out, obviously.
No,
yet,
no.
So exactly.
Well, not in Toronto, but they've got them. Waymo's got them everywhere.
Well,
yeah.
so like Elon's robo. Elon's robo. Yeah, we don't have those yet. Yeah.
All right, so we're long Apple over here. We're taking out some levels. We took out the top on Apple, so the future kind of headed its own way, but we're long on Apple. At the 54 penny area, I just took out some there at 73s, and I posted at 77s. Let's see if Apple wants to run. It was a great holdup of the 10 exponential, so I put my stop through the bottom of here. So we're long Apple right now. Let's see if we can continue to ascend up on Apple. NVIDIA is certainly flying up a storm right now, so I'm done trying to short these bigger names. We're just going to go with the trend right now. Doing really well on HIMX. Again, we got back into this at 40s, and now it's printing 56s. I'm still going to wait at 64s. We also took out some outs here on Triple D. Where's that at? Where is it? That's Apple. There it is. So we took out some. We got back in on Triple D at around the 10 exponential, but it is finding a lot of trouble breaking through 10s. So that is the high of the day. It's showing 10s right now on the ask. It looks like there is size of no. Let's see if we can break above 10. Look at all those orders at 10 come in. Can't break above it though. I'm waiting at 12s. Let's see if this one wants to curl back up there. Keeping my eye out on that. Here comes Apple in at around 75. I'm still waiting at 77. So it looks like the future possibly catching a bid here. Apple up 0.9. Not really many headlines today for Apple. There was the AVGO headline yesterday, not really benefiting it that much. Oh, nice. There was also the, what's it called? Thank you, Joseph. That was what's the headline? Yeah, the Apple Intelligence headline as well. Looks like we're going to get that hopefully soon to fix Siri, because Siri's hot trash right now, still is. But we shall see. Yeah, Siri. Looks like we rejected 410 again here on Triple D, so there is a seller of note in and around there, Joseph. And look at this. We're coming right back into that 58 penny area on HIMX, the same area we rejected last time. I was able to take out some there at 56. Let's see if this one can break that level this time. Yes, sir. We'll keep an eye out on that. Paul Sharif, Apple's homegrown wireless chip to come to iPhone later in 2025. I thought they were already putting in the M chips into iPhones. Maybe that's iPads. Maybe I'm wrong. Fact check me, Paul. I thought that they did. Oh, no, they're still using Qualcomm's chips. You're right. You're right. I did know that. Huh, that's interesting. Thanks for that, Paul. I'll have to look more into that. But yeah, good information to read for later. Yeah, keeping an eye on Apple here. It looks like it's rejecting that $0.75 level. Keep my eye on it, Joseph.
Yeah, for sure. I'm probably going to hop out of AMD here. It does nothing but live up to its name for the past little bit. So again, if we break this key support level around 130, I'm going to have to pop out of this one. We don't want to hold on to this. We can always get back in as well, too. So that one living up to his name. Warner Bros. Is actually trading really well right now. So I like that. Yeah, see, and I added some more there. The volume started to kick in, as you can see, relative to what was going on in this consolidation phase. A nice turnaround on Warner Bros. And this is what you want to look out for. Things that are moving really well, look to join and participate in them. There's no point in fighting things that aren't necessarily working. So yeah, we're out of AMD here, folks. It's just not working out, and that's it. I'm done trading semis for the next little bit. There's no need for me to trade something that's not in play. I want to find things that are in play, and that's Warner Bros. For today's session. That's Bitcoin. That's some of the other Mag 7s like Apple, Meta, Amazon, Google. Those are all in play as of right now. So we're going to look at those. We're going to avoid the semis. And unfortunately, what do you got going on there? Titan, are you?
105,
okay,
guys.
105. Yeah, so pull
there's
it up.
obviously a hidden seller, guys, at 105. There's no size posted at 105. There was like single digits on all the gateways, guys, and I have almost every single gateway, thanks to Brenkels. Yeah, it looks like there was definitely a seller of note at 105. Be careful with this one, but the thing is, if 105 breaks, it's going to squeeze big because I don't know if there's going to be too much size north of that. You can't, well, we'll see, obviously. Keep your eye at 105 here on TTAM, the new IPO, up 47.5%. Great look for TTA. And here's 105 again. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at single digits all the way through. Look at the amount of shareage coming in. Look, keep your eye on this column, SZ. That's the size per order. So big boy shares coming in, can't break it. So, or can't move past it is what I'm trying to say. So 105 still right now, HOD on TTAN. Very interesting trade today. I don't have too many experience trading IPOs, so anything I can get in terms of exposure to me is a plus. Big spot.
Big spot.
$5, Jack. So buy $425 name because a robo-taxi and other promises, while a $200 name gives you exposure to functioning robo-taxis and much more. Muskie in here. Tell us how you really feel, though, Big Spot, because I don't think you've really made that. You've really made your opinion clear about how you feel about Elon Musk. No, case in point, understood. You're looking to go where it's proven rather than what could theoretically be. You're absolutely right in that regard. My response to you is bet against him at your own risk. He seems to make his doubters really regret doubting him. So we'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell, but your point well taken, Big Spal. And yeah, always dropping hot lines, letting us know exactly what it is.
Didn't you guys say today that the robo-taxi can potentially add about $1 trillion to market cap on Tesla?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, the analysts.
You guys were talking about it.
Certainly, yeah.
And Danny Ives being the
Danny Ives
bull,
pounded the desk.
the bull of all bulls.
The bull of all bulls. The best styled man on Wall Street. I won't be convinced otherwise.
No,
who's dressing this guy, bro?
Who is dressing this guy? The flower blazers and coming in.
And the thing is, it's not even the blazers. I saw him in a hoodie, and it was like floral pink and green and neon green. It's not even just the suits, Joseph.
I love his sports analogies as well too. He always managed to throw like a sports pun in there as well. Yeah. I like Danny Ives too, and Tom Lee. You know that we like those guys.
I like Tom Lee a lot, man.
He's bullish on equities as well too for the first half of 25, and then sees a little bit of a pullback. Says the S&P potential 6,000, I believe. Is that right? 6,000 on the S&P, and then I think coming in around 5,500 in the latter half of the year. It's either 7,000 or 6,000. He has a price target, so he is bullish on that front, guys. So I always keep an eye on what the bigger boys have to say, especially, I know you don't like CMBS, you would like to refer to, but I have to listen to it. Yeah, I know you. I know you're obviously just kidding.
I just don't like it when they have an agenda that they're trying to push. It just leave that out of. This is business. I don't need to hear about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like Wapner, right? He's straight to the point. He's straight, and JB, obviously with Josh Brown. I like those guys. So yeah, thanks for the super chat, Kyle. Only 325 votes so far, guys.
That's it?
Yeah, I know. So we got to get that up a little. Yeah, we can do.
We're gonna do the afternoon show then.
Oh, that's it. It's done, guys. You don't get it. You heard the man himself. It's over. If we don't get that, it's over. Vince Carter style. But again, guys, get those votes up. Joe and Shreve, get me in a room with Tom Lee and Danny Ives, and I can change their mind.
Bro,
okay, I see you.
He's gonna terrorize them.
Yeah, he's gonna terrorize them.
Terrorize them, Big Spile.
With some puts.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's put game, and those guys are gonna be selling you those puts essentially, and then profiting off them probably.
A lot of people they talk mad smack about Danny Ives, but the thing is, look, if you're gonna talk smack about him, at least be on his level. I saw this. Okay, I'm not trying to say I'm anybody, but there was this nobody on BNN Bloomberg, which is our version of Bloomberg up in Canada.
Yeah.
We call it BNN, Business News Network, right? And this guy's just like, she was, one of the anchors was putting to him what Danny Ives had said about a stock, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna comment about Daniel Ives and all his predictions, but yeah, it's like you're pooping on Danny Ives, and you can't hold a candle to Danny Ives, though, man.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? It's just like
Stephanie Link I'm pretty sure Stephanie Link from Hightower, it was like, yeah, people are putting up record numbers. And Tom Lee and Danny Ives have been bullish for probably the past year and a half. So those guys are putting up ridiculous numbers, and pretty much everything they said has come to fruition. They've been bullish on tech for how long, and look at tech. It's that simple. So how are you going to degrade what Danny Ives has to say when he's been right for the past 2 years? And probably past that.
There you go. There you go. All right, what do you got over here? Let's talk about this trade. Okay, we're doing well here on HIMX. This one's working up into 60. So the reason I'm excited about that is it did take out that 58 top. So if there was a seller at 58 of note, looks like for the moment we've taken them out. We'll have to see if this one continues to ascend. I did put in a dip trade on Apple to add more over here in this consolidation area range, just below the $0.50. Looks like that was a mistake. I should have had it above the $0.50. Here we go. Apple's got a bottoming tail candle right now. It's got a 74 high, and I'm waiting at 77s. So we're going to have to wait and see if this one wants to ascend, but I don't mind getting printed on this level over here if it is to hold the 10 exponential. I put it there. I put my order at 46s or whatever it was to shadow the 10 exponential. Or actually, not even shadow. I was front running it, quite frankly. So it did dip 1 penny below my DCA, my planned DCA there, but it did not fill. So I'm keeping my eye on Apple over here. It's towards the high end of the range. I'm not putting too much in the way of faith into this because it's got a bit of a top at 60s, even though we're above it right now. You don't really know if the future, if Apple ends up finding a bit of a sell here. Guys, the future is about to break through local highs. So 21,740-ish. That is the local high there. We're about to break above that right now on the NQ December contract, which means that there is a good little uptrend over here. So this compression pattern that we've had, no longer valid because we've broken above the top end of the range of this downward channel on the NQ. So here we go. We're still not above the pre-market high or even the IB high. No, the pre-market high, excuse me. The pre-market high takes us to about 21,770. So let's keep our eye out on the future over here. I'm not going to short NVIDIA anymore. Got caught up doing that. But we are trying to take Apple long and see what comes from that. Let's check Triple D. Triple D still doing its thing. We didn't get that 412 print, even though it was working its way up into 411. How's the other one doing? No, we're still zigging and zagging on HIMX. Big spot.
Yeah, another 5. This guy
man's hitting.
He has to get his voice in, man.
499. When the whole herd is running behind a few leaders, it ain't hard for the leaders to look right. Look, brother, I get all that. I'm just going with the trend. I know you don't like Elon Musk. You don't seem to like Tesla. I respect that, Big Spile. But the fact of the matter is, he's an achiever, in my opinion. And those who have bet against him, most of the time, they have lost. Right? You can just ask Bill Gates about that 1.2 billion short that he had, or that loss on the short. Now, I'm assuming, the last 4 years during the Biden administration, when there was all sorts of lawfare and every government agency under the sun investigating Tesla and the like, and even SpaceX they were giving problems to. Well, sure, I bet you a lot of people made money on those Tesla shorts. But does that happen now, though, with the new political environment that we're in? It's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? I don't know. I think that I've learned quite a bit from the last 4 years about really, looking at how you're politically aligned and how well your stock does if you take a political alignment. Because I think if you were to look at the last 4 years and the obvious misalignment of Elon Musk with the current administration, you could kind of maybe flip that and look to see how it would do with a administration who is friendly. Some food for thought. Yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about that in the chat. Tag Joseph or I and see exactly. We'd love to express or to read out your opinions. I love the more opinions, the better. Just keep them, keep them friendly. Keep them friendly. That's all. What do you got, Joseph?
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of tagging. ForexAU, my guy. Thanks for the love, tagging us in the chat there, Sharif, on Twitter. So good stuff there. I'm really enjoying that. Thanks for the tag on that one, ForexAU. and especially your inputs on the session. So it's really nice to see that. Makes you feel a little warm inside. But guys, Riot is starting to trade a little bit higher. AMD pulling back a little bit as well too. But I know a lot of people in the chat were talking about Hut and SoundHound. Hut is trading higher as well too. We have now pushed through VWAP on Hut. Really nice momentum. The volume is stepping in on this 5-minute time frame, so this can give us a little bit more conviction within this setup. So really good call out there, and we are trading higher on Hut as well too right now, guys. So really good shout out on that front. A little late to the dance. You know, I would have liked to get this in on VWAP, but that hasn't been the case. I got a punch out of this WBD trade here because it's now at my break even, but we got a nice one. I missed the fill by. It didn't fill me because I guess it didn't hit the bid there, but that's okay. But yeah, guys, really nice look on Hut, and then we'll pull up Sound as well too, because people are mentioning that it's ripping as well on the 5-minute. Yeah, starting to pull back a little bit. There's no real, okay, yeah, so relative to the rest of this volume that is stepping in. So good look on the breakout, guys. I like those breakout plays. So keep pointing those out. If you see stocks breaking VWAP with volume, tag me, because those are the stocks that I'm going to look to participate in. That is my style of trading. I like seeing volume support my thesis. I like seeing the breakouts of key resistance and support levels, especially with that volume joining in as well too. This can give us more conviction within the setup. So every time you see those guys, keep pointing them out, because those are the trades that we're looking to join in. Again, we mentioned this before. We look to participate and not necessarily anticipate. All right, so keep sending them out, guys. Let's see what else we got here. I don't have anything going right now. The position board is down. Titan is trading. I was watching this 1-minute candle. It went from 105 to 102 in a matter of seconds and is now kind of trading sideways. So let's see what's going on with this one. A little more data here, but I don't think I'm going to play this one. Riot is breaking higher. So let's see if we can continue to that side, break this key resistance level. Volume is kicking in there on the crypto. Sharif, what do you got going on?
Yes, sir. A couple of comments over here. Big smiles like politics means nothing. Policy means everything. Let's see what the policy actually changes to. Couldn't agree more, but usually with political alignment comes friendly policy. Let's see what else we got here. Drop trades. Along with political factor, Elon Musk has funded most of his ventures with government money, so expect the factor to increase in the next 4 years. Okay, that's interesting as well. Shout out to Drops Trades. Ian Rispetto. 499 superchart. Are there any quantum stocks you were investing in or like for the long term? Seems to be the next big thing. I have looked at IONQ and QBTS. You're absolutely right. Those are some of the most talked about ones. I'm sure though, Ian, you've heard about Google and their Willow chip. So they're involved in that as well. Obviously, when you buy Google, you're buying more than just exposure to quantum computing. So keep that in mind. I don't have any specific ones that I'm looking at yet. There's also QUBT. Qubit is a big there as well. So keep your eye on that one. Yeah, if I come across any, I know you're always in the chat, I'll definitely tag you with that. I haven't been weaseled my way into that. I've been looking to get into a couple things. Specifically, I want to get into an energy play for the AI data center build out. I know I'm late to the party there. I also want to get into quantum computing. So this is something definitely will be looking at that with you. Positions board is down temporarily. The production team is, I just did, is getting that fixed right now. So shout out to them. Amma Hamada, Joe, Sharif, I really dislike Elon Musk and don't want him to waste our tax money further. If Trump does tariff Tesla will fall hard with the rest of the economy. Thank you for your opinion. Amma Hamada, I respect everything you have to say. I humbly disagree with you, but that's what the beautiful thing about free speech is. Let's keep going on with some of these other comments. Love the comments that are coming in right now, man. I love how you guys are chiming in about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Daryl Finch, Michael Burry started shorting Tesla in 2021. Technically, he has had 2 good years to cover in massive profits. I agree with you 100%. And that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, I've learned a lot by watching the political alignment or misalignment with someone who makes, like a Fortune 500 company, who makes their political alignment very well known, and as vocal as Elon Musk is about that kind of thing and how that could affect your company. What I've seen over the last 4 years, and that's what I'm thinking, maybe it changes in the next 4 years. That's why he was so gung-ho trying to endorse Donald Trump or back him up. What else we got over here? Amma Hamada goes on to say that is only if he does the tariffs, though. He might be full of hot air. Yeah, we'll see. A lot of people saying it could be negotiating tactics by our friend, our friend Donald. I know that he's peeved off the politicians in this country to no end. That's their problem. Let's see what else people are saying. Day trader cut. Disagree so politely. Yeah, brother. We don't have to hate each other because we disagree. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what's different about these days is like if you disagree, you are my enemy. No, man. I'm not going to be that way, and I refuse to be that way. All right, we're doing really well here on both Tesla and NVIDIA. We're heavily in the money on, well, not heavily, not Katina main, heavily in the money. We're going to take another beak wetter here on NVIDIA at $0.33. We'll see if it ascends there. Apple also, we're nicely in the money. Disappointed, though, that I didn't get my DCA at that 46 penny area on AAPL. It's working back into that high. 74s HOD on AAPL. Simultaneously, bang, we take out the top there on HIM. Dang X, that is the end of my trade there on that one.
Whoa.
Yeah, we stayed in this one a hot minute. Got in twice, Joseph, on that one. So HIMX continuing to the high side. Let's see, Tesla is breaking above VWAP. Here we go. Tesla taking that VWAP. So we'll pack our patience and keep that one on. Watch, Joseph, what do you got?
Yeah. I just punched in into some Riot. It's breaking up, but I was thinking Bitcoin was going to do the same, but no. Riot is starting to pick up a little bit of momentum. I like how you're talking about Tesla, so I want to take a look at Tesla as well too, right at VWAP, with a potential bottoming signal on Tesla. So we're going to look to get involved in some TSLA on that one, Sharif. But let's pull up the actual underlying itself. Okay, we are hovering. I do like this momentum. The volume is not kicking in, really slightly on the lower time frames. If we get a pullback and touch 423, I'm going to punch, or if we ABCD this, then I'm going to go at the break of this level here at 423.92. But as of right now, we're just pulling back. I kind of punched in at the highs on Riot, which is not the best idea. I should have got back in a long time ago. But let's see if this momentum can continue. It had curled over, which is a really interesting pattern. Like, this isn't the right play, but I really like this pattern. I should have been at the break of some of these levels, and then you join that smooth ride up, but that hasn't been the case. Let's see what Tesla's doing. I was keeping my eye on AMD, but I have no faith in the semis right now, so I'm not even going to bother with it. So guys, I'll tell you a story, a little backstory. So when I first started trading in 21, I think, I would trade Apple a lot just because of the volume. I ran a basic high volume scanner, and I would trade Apple a lot. But see, the thing is, the float on Apple is so large, it needs so much money and inflows in order for that stock to move. I just would always get chopped up in it, so I stopped trading it. I actually legitimately for multiple years when I was trading alone at home, just stopped outright trading Apple. I didn't even look at it. I was like, I'd rather own it than trade it, as Jim Cramer would like to say. Own it, don't trade it. And honestly, NVDA is starting to get into that realm for me. I get it that it's in play quite a bit and the volume is there, but the float is starting to get a lot bigger, and it wicks people out a lot, especially in this choppy price action. It's not like it was a year or so ago. The price action is significantly different in my opinion, and from what I've observed. This is totally subjective. But again, I'm starting to sway away from NVDA because as we track our Trader TV live data, as we do here, I also keep notes of my own trading, obviously. Otherwise, what am I doing? So something similar to those, I keep track and note of, and data is like, and I lose more on NVDA than I win. So once you get to that standpoint, once you have stocks and it's like, okay, I'm no good at trading this, I'm better at trading things that are in play than just, I'm not saying forget it exists, but there's other vehicles you can trade. So make sure you guys are collecting data, you guys are journaling, you're doing all these things to see where you have higher success rates in trading. And for me, it's like, the more I trade NVDA, the less I don't trade it, the worse I trade it, okay? So yeah, blue cheese, Jim Cramer. A lot of people don't like Cramer, eh?
Oh God,
they really don't like him. I like him.
The inverse Cramer.
Yeah,
ETF
people were talking about it. Yeah.
It's like the Pelosi and the inverse Cramer ETF are like as good as one. So it's like if you
No.
go the opposite of Kramer or just go with Pelosi, you're doing well, man.
Yeah.
So
What
I
is the
thought that was
ticker? What is the
hilarious.
ticker of this
I
inverse
got you right
Kramer?
here.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me what the
I'm on my
inverse.
subversive ETF. So,
Yeah.
well, I got to go to my ETFs. Here we go. So NANC.
NANC.
I don't know the inverse Kramer one. That's the Nancy one.
Unusual
So NANC.
subverse. That is insane
I told
name.
you. NANC. And then I have Ted Cruz as well. KRUZ or Z, as our American friends like to say.
Zero liquidity.
Yeah, you're not going to be trading this, Joseph. You're going to have to
Like,
weasel in. Yeah.
Like what? But hey, look, no way. This is insane, dude.
That's it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nancy Pelosi is the best trader, and I won't
There
look at
is.
this otherwise. She's not doing anything wrong, Joseph.
That's crazy.
I don't want you to think that there's any insider trading or anything going on, or she's acting on or non-public information. That would not be nice of us to think or say, Joseph.
No. We would never ever accuse anybody. We can't do that. No, we would
She's
never.
totally. You can't regulate. Oh, I'm not saying that out loud. Wow, Fabian.
I would have said
that.
it.
That's deep, Fabian. Why? Because of the implications. The yeah. You want me to say that out loud, don't you? You want me to say it out loud. The Chilean Nightmare is he's an interesting guy, bro.
Crap stuff. You're not wrong, and I get that. You're not wrong. But being a momentum trader and having to wait for those multiple wicks, opposed to someone, when I look for a breakout, like if I were to show you my journaling, then you would notice that everything is identical, and I can't get that going on with NVDA. I get adapt. You're not wrong. The quicker you can adapt to things, but what I'm getting at, there's also another in the Nasdaq 100. There's other 99 stocks that I can trade, opposed to focusing on just NVDA. I get it has the volume. You're not wrong, but I'm not going to continue to try something when I'm not in sync with it. If I can trade something that I'm more in sync with and something that it fits my playbook, I'm going to stick to that. And NVIDIA, as of right now, is not sticking to my playbook. I'm not saying that it won't ever be in play, but again, it is not working for me, so therefore I avoid it. There's no reason for me to continue to try working on something when it is not working. When I have data on other things, I can go and focus on those more. So you're not wrong, adapt, but I am not going to focus on that. That is for sure. It's true. I'm not. Wait, bro, I'm not going to focus on that stuff,
No,
man.
I'm reading the chat.
Oh,
no,
okay,
bro, I'm not laughing at what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at some of the comments in the chat. Guys, like we got 3 hours to fill, obviously. So I personally don't have any personal animosity to Nancy Pelosi. I don't. But we make observations, we see things, and we can comment on them. And that's kind of what I see there. I think she's got hell of timing. She's an excellent trader. But then you gotta wonder, is she the one pulling the strings, or is it Paul Pelosi? Because people are saying that he's the one with the excellent timing and the leg. So see that. Capital E. Oh my God. Canada. $2 Canadian. Shout out to Capital E. Appreciate you guys. Thoughts on P10? Say less, my man. We will look at that for you in a hot second. P10. PTEN is the ticker, guys. Chart. And here we go. Let's have a look at this one. We're gonna throw up the ticker for it. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with the daily. See what the situation is with the daily. So very ugly daily chart, right? Very down and to the right. All right. So let's see here. $20 resistance, no question about it. Downtrend, you had a bit of a double top. Over here, you had several double tops. Look, this is ugly. It's continuing to make lower highs. You're not really getting a whole lot of lower lows lately. You found a bit of a bottom since October, September, late September. Seems like that 7.5 has been support. The issue is, if you look at the actual highs, we're definitely making lower highs. We're below the 50, we're below the 200. It's still a downward slope. Now let's look at the hourly. Is there a discernible trend? Yeah, so 7.5, definitely support. Looks as if, maybe that 8 3/4 is acting as resistance, if that's the range, but the longer term trend, it's down and to the right. What does this company do? Patterson, UTI Energy, provider of drilling and completion services to oil and natural gas exploration and production companies in the U.S. and other select countries, including contract drilling services, integrated well completion. Okay, so this could actually get a bit of a tailwind if Donald Trump changes exactly how the U.S. fossil fuel energy operates. We've seen lately, obviously, that it's been a bit of a different story with the current administration, Joseph. But we got to pay some bills.
Hey, we got to pay some bills, guys. It's that time. eSignal, trade smarter, not harder. All right, upgrade to an elite trading experience. Analyze, strategize, then capitalize. Foresee profitable opportunities with the platform you need. Infinite data, instant trading, know where the market is moving before others with lightning fast data. Better backtesting and scanning, predict the future by understanding the past. Reliable real-time data, up to the second market info from hundreds of global markets. Everything you need in one place. Don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. Bang, bang, bang. We know Tina Man's been with eSignal for a couple decades now. He said since he started essentially trading, he was with eSignal, no?
Oh yeah, he's been using eSignal for years. Years, yeah, he loves it.
He was using
eSignal
before eSignal was even before it was even made. Yeah, stock. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's what I am. I've been doing this. So again, I'm not going to try to force something that I'm just not working with. So yeah, thank you guys. Kerry, do you have to learn? Do you have to learn what they are doing, and then you go by what they're doing? You have to learn their system. Are you referring to, Kerry Weaver, are you referring to NVDA, like the buy programs and how the underlying asset moves? Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. LBM, thanks for this. The inverse Kramer is SJIM. Okay, let's take a look at
nice. I'm going to throw that on. Thank you.
SJIM, yeah. Thanks, LBM. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, it won't even let me on here.
Uh-oh. Yeah. SJIM?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it right here.
They want nothing.
What?
They want nothing to do with our guy.
Evaluation. Okay, yeah, you're good. Oh, why wouldn't it show anything? It's on the pink sheets.
It's on the pink sheets.
That's why we can load it up on our platform.
Okay.
So let's load it up here.
Take a look on it from that one.
SJIM on the MX. No, it's not.
No way.
SJIM? No, I don't know. I'll have to ask Katina when he gets back, but I can't access it here. That's interesting. Yeah, we'll have to look at that for you guys later, but SJIM not available on our system and not available on my platform. Joe and I have the same platform. Okay, so I'm long a couple of stocks, more than a couple. I'm long a few stocks right now, NVIDIA and Apple being one of them. I've been basically buying the dips at 138 on NVIDIA and then printing to the upside. We're going to keep scalping up on this one until it breaks down and stays down below the 10 exponential moving average. Seems that there is a buyer of note here at 138 because we've been hanging out here for a hot minute. So let's see if we can get some prints to the high side. I believe I am waiting at 18s or 17s or something like that, and then waiting at 25s as well. So we'll see if that one wants to curl. Likewise with Apple, for whatever reason, holding above that 248.5, taking out a lot of the position. I still have a majority, or sorry, I still have some left, and I'm waiting to add possibly on the break of that $0.50 because it's still, again, holding above the 10 exponential moving average. However, multiple topping tail candles right now showing up on the 5-minute chart, meaning seller exuberance as opposed to buyer exuberance this time. So keeping that on watch. Starburst, SJIM was liquidated. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have no idea what his ETF is. We can definitely look online and find out what that situation is. We don't have to do it right now, though, but he does. I believe he does have an ETF. I just saw a picture of it.
They said it's
the
closed.
price action of it.
There's people fact checking. They say it's closed and it's closed now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. There's no
they
more.
closed inverse Kramer ETF a while back. Okay, but I swear I just saw it a few days ago on X. It was a comparison between the Nancy Pelosi ETF, NANC, and whatever his ETF is. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what the situation is there. We got stopped out of our trade on NVIDIA as that one did break below that 90 penny level. So I'm done trading this one for now. Let's see if it wants to reclaim that level. Apple, though, still holding above that $0.50. And by extension of that, the 10 exponential moving average. We'll keep tabs on that one as well. Meta just broke VWAP aggressively, but at a nice area, the $10 area here, Joseph. That's that 630 area. We didn't really have a whole lot of price action support there, but we know the $10 area can sometimes act as an area of psychological support and resistance, so keep your eye out on that. Meta 630. Also, Microsoft putting in 3 lower highs right now with a flat bottom at 453. That is the volume weighted average price. It's found support there a couple of times, but it looks now like a descending wedge with lower highs and a flat bottom. It could be another bounce, though, off the volume-weighted average price, 453 or thereabouts. That's where I'm seeing the volume-weighted average price on Softy. What else we got going on? The Fuge below, above, excuse me, that 700-point area, and by extension of that as well, VWAP. So here's the deal with the Fuge. This is interesting here because now we're putting in successively 4 higher lows if this area holds up above this area. So definitely getting a bit of an upward channel today on the Fuge. Seeing this obviously a little bit late to be able to play these ranges, but 21,700 could be an interesting buy area here. VWAP and the 100-point area both at that level, and it's putting in higher lows. So interesting look right now on the Fuge. We'll have to see if that one wants to bounce at the level. Likewise with Softy, kind of both being near the volume weighted average price. Let's see some of the small cap gappers that we've got on. We're still waiting for more outs or a stop out here on Triple D. Only got one out so far. I did work up to 11s. I was waiting at 12, so I've only got one print on that. So only 2 positions left for me, Apple and Triple D. Joseph.
Yeah, yes. I'm just looking at our SPY trade here, folks. We're not looking too good. It was the closest race that I've seen yet. About 55% to the long side, 45 to the short side. And you know what? It's looking like the shorts were right on this session. Again, we had the inability to make any new highs, forming lower highs on this. And now we have some key support levels. I think that if the momentum decides that it wants to pick up, or some of these mag stocks decide that they want to sell off as well too, that we're going to break these levels and continue to the north southeast that is on this SPY. So guys, yeah, and NVDA is absolutely tanking, so sure enough, it's going to drag the rest of the market down. So I don't know if it's going to happen on this session, but if these key support levels do break, then I think I would expect a little bit more downside movement. Riot is trading higher. I'm in some Riot, but Apple is kind of stagnant at the top here, trading around $248 and change, and Tesla is trading below VWAP. A little bit tougher of a game there on Tesla. We'll pull up our darling here that we got everybody riled up about with Elon and Tesla. So yeah, again, this was tough. Sitting in this was tough, a little choppy price action, but it then went and hit some key levels. And sure enough, you can just check that, hey, couldn't quite reach that 430 where it reached the highs in the aftermarket. I know I was sitting at my desk around 8 or 9 o'clock watching this thing, or sorry, 7 o'clock, watching this thing go a little bit higher and higher, trading around that $430 mark, but yet we had the inability to claim that and then proceed higher on Tesla, but that's okay. I think this is just a short-term breath. We had an absolute monster day on this underlying asset, so expect a little bit of choppy price action, and that be thankful that we didn't give back most of the move. We're still hovering around that $422 price, so that's good and that's healthy. So we're going to continue to monitor this. Sharif and I believe, are bullish on Tesla for the foreseeable future. There's no doubt about that. But guys, we don't got much time left here. Only 10 minutes, and then we're going to have to dock our trade down. It's looking like we're going to take an L unless we can get some massive rebound here from NVDA and some of the larger big caps there that we got going on.
Well, NVIDIA's at an interesting support level, so I'm giving it a try over here. This was the area.
Oh, you're in it. You're in it too right now. Yeah.
This was the area crest that we rejected off last time. So right over here, this was 137.52. So we kind of weaseled on down there, dropped back down. So we cleared it by some distance. So my estimation is that we possibly hold up here on NVDA. We'll give it a try. The small share size, we're in it. We're gonna look to wet our beak in the high 70s and high 80s. We'll see if we can get a bit of a scalp there. Apple, man, wow, holy, very respectful of the 10. But I was worried here. I still am, because there were so many topping tail candles. You just felt people were shorting up a storm. But it feels like there's a buy program shadowing the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 here on Apple, because you didn't get any breaches of that green line. So interesting look there on Apple. The Fuge also getting a bit of a bounce off that 700-point area. All right, we got a print on NVIDIA, so we scalped out at least a little bit.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see if we can get something in the 80s. Not much to talk about today in terms of small cap gappers. We had a few of them that were going, and then they kind of all died out, right? Like the HIMX, the one that we're done, is the one that's continuing to go. I believe I missed a really good trade on CADL over here. I had a good one on it earlier, but this one right at the volume weighted average price at 12.15, 12.20 was the one that I really did lament not having had. BDTR, this is interesting. So this is, I don't know too much about this company, but it's straddling VWAP at 22.5 here and has been for the last 20 minutes. So that could be an interesting move back up if the buyer there is legit and remains there. So we'll have to keep an eye on BTDR. Is a great look there. Triple D, I'm still involved in that one, break even in at the moment, as it's holding up at my entry at 403. I've put my stop below 4, and it still hasn't breached. So we'll pack our patience to see if we can get the lofty profit target of 412. I'm keeping my eye out on that. NVIDIA zigging and zagging here in the high 70s. I'll see if this wants to curl back up. I'm waiting at 88s for the next print. Here comes 80s. If we can see some 88s, that'll get me. Beak, wetter Apple, though, coming back. Oh, is that Apple? Yeah, Apple's got a wick here that I've got to fix. So I'm just going to send it to you quickly to fix this.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Have you ever used NVDL?
Sorry, just give me a second.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, do your thing. Yeah, do your thing. Okay, guys. Yeah, so let's see what we got going on with Riot. Again, we're starting to slowly crawl higher and higher. Again, we got some key pivot levels. I shouldn't have took this trade right here. Because I bought the top essentially, so that's not something that you want to be doing. Especially, I mentioned this before, so got to keep that in mind. We did get back in. I don't know how much we're going to crawl from this standpoint. We are around that 2 o'clock time frame, so let's see what Bitcoin is up to. I think if Bitcoin can get moving, then maybe Riot will start to participate on that front as well too. I'm looking at NVDA as well, but I don't think I'm going to get involved at this point. I would like to see a pullback towards the volume-weighted average price, and then we can reassess from there. But again, we don't got too much time left in the session. We'd have to look for those 2 o'clock time frame or those 2 o'clock buy programs to really step in. Yeah, West. So yeah, most def. Yeah, I like NVDL as well too. Good trade. I hope the NVIDIA gets back to 142. Yeah, thanks, Jay Lee. I think it will eventually. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow, but one day it will get back to those levels, no doubt about that. So, yeah, again, I was looking at actually XLK, and just to kind of go back to see where we can find some relative strength, guys. And that's kind of the consumer staples are leading the way, around only up about 0.5% on the session, a little less. In the communications sector, about 0.4, and then utilities in third place, up only about 0.25% on the session. So let's take a look at some of these sector ETFs because we want to see how they are performing. So communication or staples being number one. Let's see how XLP is trading. Yeah, kind of curling over, but it is still green on the session. Let's see what some of the top holdings in XLP are up to, which would be Walmart. Okay, Walmart having a decent day, trading below VWAP now. So let's see what happens with Walmart. And then we have Costco as well, too. So let's see what Costco is up to, even though we did mention that as well. Do they have earnings today?
Costco, yeah.
Yeah, they have earnings after the bell. So yeah, I was right on that one. Costco has earnings. I think a lot of people are looking forward to that and for the potential split on the horizon as well too. I think there's been some rumors about that going around.
God, yeah, it needs to split, bro.
It needs to split. I think Netflix, because we're going to talk about the second leading sector ETF here as well too. So NFLX. Let's see what NFLX. Let's go. There we go. Oh yeah, that's an ugly day. I didn't know how it was that illiquid. Okay. But yeah, again, this thing's been on an absolute monster tear, especially after that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. The thing hasn't looked back, and as well as the election. So keep that in mind. This thing has been just parabolic. So look for a pullback. So Netflix and Costco, we would like to see some pullbacks in those and possibly splits. Shreve.
Yeah, just loading up over here to see exactly what time Costco is going to report any day now. Here we go. So Cost gonna report at 4:15. So quarter after there, after the bell today. I don't know if it's Sean or Neil on the afternoon rundown. Here is the expected move, only 3.3% plus or minus. Last time we only dipped down 1.8%, but we all know that it got bought up after, obviously, because it's a little bit higher than it was then. And a little bit, I'm just kind of being tongue-in-cheek about that. So Costco, 4:15 after the bell today. Expected move, a light 3.3%. So the market not expecting too much in the way of volatility. Do we have anything else after the bell today? AVGO was, that was That's today as well. Broadcom, they're both. Broadcom and Costco today, both at 415. So if you're going to trade, I guess you got to choose one or the other. Maybe Costco won't be that volatile. Broadcom, though, the expected move plus or minus 7.3%, with that last move being a bad look there, 10.4% to the downside. So a bit of a tougher look there, Joseph. I'll send it to you because I got to my Nvidia trades.
Deal with that. I'm just looking at the options chain on Costco, guys. The most amount of open, it's not even open, it's just volume already traded. Nothing standout-ish on the chain. Again, it's a higher price stock. Those spreads are a little bit more hefty. Yeah, like that's a $100 spread I'm looking at on Costco, which is crazy at the $1,005 strike price. Wow, okay, that sucks. It's $100, over $100. No, sorry, not $100. Sick math, kid. It's about 50. $55, $60 on that, $100, yeah. Really good maths on that one. Let's take a look at Broadcom. I think we talked about that as well too. So we're going to see some high levels of open interest around that 185 strike and that 190 strike, with the higher being that 185. So look for moves going that way. And then to the put side, the highest open interest we have around 165 there, but Riot's starting to pull back. The market is moving down. I wouldn't be surprised if we get stopped out of our trade here shortly, because 605.67 is our stop loss on SPY, Sharif.
Yes, sir. Got it stopped out of Nvidia, broke through the $0.50. So we're going to go negatory on that one after actually being positive on it initially. So we'll have to focus on the Apple trade now. That's the only one we've got left. And again, I'm seeing support here at the $0.50, but we are getting lower highs. So that's the bad part of the whole situation. It does seem like it is finding support at the closing print in and around that $0.50, but we're not really getting any higher highs either. Like you're not seeing any successive 5-minute candle make higher highs above its preceding candle. This is kind of what I'm talking about over here. Why is this so distorted? All right, there we go. Kind of look there. So you have that 248.73, and then each kind of successive candle lower than the predecessor. But when you zoom in, it's got that hold up at the 10 exponential. So we'll see exactly how this one wants to set up. I've got a tight stop there. Oh my God, the dark pools. The dark pools are going to kill me today. My goodness. Every time they're showing up here on Apple. We got a good VWAP hold right now on Microsoft, right at that 253 area. It's the second time it's done that on the day. The initial was 1140, 1145. It dips in right into that level again, but not really far away from it at the moment. Also, the future at 21,700. Good look there, coming right back into the volume weighted average price. Last time around, we did breach it, but then we did end up moving up off the level. So keep your eye out on that. Let's have a look at some of the small cap gappers. HIMX continues to head to the upside. Triple D got back into 4, so I was like, all right, I'm just going to flatten out break even. I don't want to expend mental capital on this one. Someone was asking me earlier about, I think it was Ian Rispetto, was asking about possible quantum plays. Here's one. ARQQ having itself a decent day, up 4%, definitely off the highs. Got all the way up into that $31 area, drop and back down all the way to yesterday's closing print at $24. This is another one here, ARQQ. It is a smaller market cap, $350 million, excuse me. Market cap, they're a UK-based company engaged in supplying encryption software services. They make which makes the communication links of network devices. Where's the quantum part of this whole thing over here? Let's see. Cloud machine or data at rest secure both current and future forms of attack on encryption, even from quantum computers. Okay, so it looks like they deal with quantum encryption. Interesting. So as opposed to, some quantum plays with respect to chips and the like, these guys are dealing with quantum encryption. Don't know too much about that industry. Maybe you guys can let us know if you do know about it. Computer science backgrounds, computer engineers, whatever. Anybody with information, love to hear about that. Keeping my eye on Apple again, because still holding above the 10 exponential on the 5. We'll see what that one does. Saad Mahmood, NQ broke that uptrend channel on the 5-minute. Yes, it did. Kind of. But it's still at VWAP. That's the thing. So I'm not going to trade the future, obviously, but keeping an eye on the 700-point level and VWAP. But you're right. Yeah, it did definitely break the uptrend. But you know how these lines are. They're malleable, right? So you can kind of keep your eye out on the most prominent troughs. Right now, it looks like for the moment, I should say, holding above that 700-point area, and by extension of that, obviously, the volume-weighted average price. We'll keep an eye out on that. CELH popping, says Drew Stefancic. Let's have a look at CELH. I saw that one earlier, and I did have it up on my side chart, but it kind of was not to my liking. Let's have a look. It takes forever to load. I don't know why on this platform, so we'll wait until this bad boy loads. But as I see it, Apple now breaking above that 60 penny area. Let's see if this one wants to weasel up to some of my beak wetters. That's the only trade we've got on. Yeah, CELH, good call out there, man. The reason I took it off the side chart because it breached VWAP. It broke down below it, so I wasn't gonna deal with that. But there you go. Reclaims VWAP, then drops back down to that 31 1/3, holds it, and then makes a new high. So it takes out that $32 high that we had it originally. It looks like it's like $32.12 now, the high of the day on CELH. Good recovery from that one, Joseph.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, guys. We only got a couple minutes left here on the session. NVDA is starting to pull back, go and test those VWAP levels. So again, maybe we'll wait and see if it can continue to the top side. But again, overall sentiment in this thing isn't the best. So I don't think I'm going to trade it. Just don't like the way I'm trading that stock. If I go back into my data, I'm not trading it well right now. So again, I can trade other things that are breaking up, that have momentum and high volume in the early hours when I run my scans on the train. Just look for something else because NVDA will always usually be there from a volume standpoint. But again, if there's no specific catalyst under it, then it's a little bit tougher of a trade for me personally. So I try to avoid. I'm going to start to avoid that one because I'm just not trading it well. So yeah, okay. Netflix. We talked about this moving really well, not reporting, but Costco and AVGOR. So we'll keep an eye out on those guys. I know there's a lot of open interest around the 1080 level, but that's nothing to stand out crazy. It is a little bit of a move than what is expected from what Sharif pointed out, only about 3% on the EM. So keep an eye out on Costco. I wonder if they are going to announce the split, because was there speculation of that? I would think so.
It'd be interesting. We have to wait for, I guess,
we'd
the call, right?
We'd have to wait for the call, yeah. So if they do something, it's probably around the lines of probably 5 or 10 to 1 if they are going to split, guys. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be an interesting one after the bell. I know I'll be looking to to join that. Yeah, it's like 4:30 usually.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Costco
Yeah,
and both
5 o'clock.
Broadcom and Costco, guys. The conference, the earnings call is going to be 5 o'clock. So that often adds a new layer of volatility. So you get the algos reacting, obviously, to the release of the earnings and the forecast and stuff like that. Then the hot lines that are dropped on the call sometimes have their own little volatility pump there. Joseph, it is 2 o'clock.
It's 2 o'clock, my guy.
I will see everybody on Monday. I'm not here tomorrow. I am Gonzino to Calgary. I will see everybody.
Oh, are you? You're going there? Nice.
Yeah,
you got a flight tonight?
Property, yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Yeah,
nice. Downtown?
No, northeast corner by the airport.
Nice.
All right, guys, Big Kahunas, take it over.
Welcome back, everybody. And, you guys haven't gone anywhere. We're back at Calgary. What am I talking about? Calgary for Sharif. All right. I've never been to Calgary myself. I've been to Edmonton, but go Stampede.
Yes.
The Stampede in the market to the upside stopped. So I am not Ovi.
Yeah.
But, the market was doing it. The market was doing it for a hot minute. Like you were trending up the entirety, I don't want to say the entirety of the day, but it kind of was. Like off of the open, like the NASDAQ, we kind of wicked the bottom in there, and then you were trending higher. Kind of looked like we're in for one of those flat top breakouts and all bullish. It just didn't happen. So really, like I'm not even in anything. The last thing I was in was Titan. That's what we're calling it, TTAN. And then some Intel. Titan, which oddly enough, it was a good IPO. If you took the opening print on Titan, it was absolutely fantastic. It held 101, went to 105, and then every now and then you get blindly lucky that it comes back and does exactly the same thing. So it was successful. It was an issue at $71, and it ends up opening at 101, getting to 105, and now holding those highs on pretty decent volume. So let's see what happens here. And if you're just tuning in, like the only thing I'm trying to get back into is this ended up being the curl level on Intel eventually at 2075. So I'm looking for, again, another mean revert on this. As the market we're red today on the NASDAQ. We're red on the ES. You've got some strength. I think coming into NVIDIA specifically that I got my eyeballs on, because where we were shorting on NVIDIA has now turned into support above VWAP. So this is looking like it could show some strength this afternoon. But with the way the market's going, you got to pick your spots, be patient. I wouldn't be surprised if that Titan loses $100. It could be pretty nasty to the downside. So I'll be watching that also this afternoon.
All right.